What is a ray of light without the shadow it creates? What is the darkness without desire for flame? What is a warrior without a worthy foe? What would you like to do? It's time to roll. When the lines between good and evil are blurred, no one knows if there is Dune or Paler came first. An ancient struggle throughout all time to push against the other keeps both upright. Is the coming chaos worth the peace? Is it all just a puzzle to complete? A one-sided coin can't exist, isn't real, and thus goes the tales of Ethyl. Thus goes the tales of Ethyl.
All right. I think we're good. Are we good? Yep, we're recording. We got the things up. The things are working now. How's it going, everyone? Welcome in. We're doing episode 23 of Tales of Ethyl today. It's going to be a great day. It's going to be a fun day. It's not probably another easy, relaxed day for our little group, but it's still very much needed. Let's go ahead and get started with our introductions. In the bottom left, we've got Silas.
Hi, I'm Zephyr. I play Silas, and I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the downtime. It's good. Kami, you're doing a good job. I'm proud of you. I love you.
I appreciate that. Right next to him, we've got Kazim. Yep.
Oh my god, both of he's asleep again.
No, I don't think he's asleep. I bet you he fucking muted himself.
Sorry, I'm back.
That.
I was not muted before you say anything. I was out of the room.
Oh, fair. Well, it's your introduction. So there's Kazim.
That's on point. That's very much on point.
I'm Josh. I play Kazim. What's up, gamers?
This checks out 100%.
Yep.
Right next to him, we've got Aimee.
Hi guys, I'm Dyer. I'm suffering from severe computer-related depression, but it's okay. We're gonna make it through this. Hopefully karma doesn't hit me with more depression. Hopefully. I love you, bestie.
And last but not least, we have Nico.
Hi, my name is Dragon. I play Nico, and he is my beloved lover, another fighter. And I am, as of this week, I have almost an entire week off. I am making that fucking tally count like a fucking better.
I'm taking a bet.
Finally
I
have
think
some
we're at
downtime.
I bet it's at like 14 or some shit.
I was gonna say, yeah, we're in double figures for
Yeah,
sure.
double digits, 100%.
Don't put it that high. I don't think it's that high. I think it's about 10.
And as always, I am Uppercase Karma. Welcome to Tales of Ethyl, as we clearly have no idea what we do anytime that we try and do this. We are always behind, we're always messing something up, and we're having a goddamn good time while we do it. I want to start this episode the same way that we always do with our shot. I see that Dragon also wants another shot, so fuck it. We're gonna have some fun with it. Here's the campaign, here's to you guys. Tink.
This is alcoholic.
Also, karma knows alcohol, so fucking take, bitches.
Yes, my ethanol, my favorite.
Oh god, it's Everclear delicious. Oh god. I don't know why I keep doing tequila, but I do.
You complain about it every week. You complain about it every
So here's the thing,
week.
I love tequila. It's just
I mean, whoever drinks tequila gotta fucking complain about tequila.
no, let's get okay, before we get started, I want to get one thing clear. Not a single person in the world likes how tequila tastes. No one. If they do, they're a liar. No one likes.
Here's what I don't.
What?
Here's what I don't.
What's that?
This is why I don't.
There are better alcohols to drink, right? Alcohols that taste better, get you more drunk,
Correct.
are cheaper.
Correct. Absolutely. Each bottle costs me about $65.
So you're telling me tequila is it could be at the bottom of every list, and people are still gonna drink tequila?
Absolutely.
Because you're just making an art. Okay, you know what, motherfucker?
Okay. I respect you. I'm a Pepsi person myself. I respect you even more now.
No, I back the Pepsi.
I'm a Coca-Cola girl, so
Coke is wrong.
I don't give two fucks.
All right, we're not starting that.
That's the one thing. The one thing people can judge me about, and I'm like, look, I grew up on that shit. That's it.
See, I got off the karma train at the tequila station, but next station's Pepsi. I'm right back on that thing, baby. Let's go.
I'm sorry, but out here in the West, we go for good old-fashioned Dr. Pepper.
Oh God, I hate Dr. Pepper so
Why
much.
did you know that?
I hate Dr. Pepper purely because when I lived in Sierra Vista, Arizona, it was quite literally the only soda any person down there drank. Yeah.
Okay. That means you were once close enough for me to kick you in the teeth for that stupid ass statement.
No, dude, in Sierra Vista,
God, oh my
every single person for a soda just drinks Dr. Pepper. And do you know how fucking disgusting it is to go to any of your friends' houses, any of your girlfriend's houses, anybody's house, and they'd be like, can I get you a soda or anything? Sure, what you got? We got Dr. Pepper and Diet Dr. Pepper. Fuck you. Give me some Pepsi.
Okay.
Oh my
I live in a town where most people either said Diet Dr. Pepper or water. So
Diet's even worse.
I like Dr. Pepper in the UK, but I fucking hate it in the States.
It's because we have way more sugar in it. Way more sugar in
There
it.
is a distinct difference.
I don't like carbonated prune juice. All right, I'm sorry. I just don't.
Anyone that drinks diet anything is lying to themselves.
Yeah. It's worse for you. It's just worse for you.
Okay, all right. We're getting way off track here. Going down a weird.
Gotta love this episode of our D&D show where we talk about soda for the first 15
Jesus
minutes.
fucking Christ. Okay.
Wait, actually, no. Talking about alcohol and soda. Weren't we supposed to get like character-specific like recipes at one point? Wasn't that a thing that we said we were gonna do?
We are until I've started filling time up, but some cool things going on that perhaps there might be some more time that I might make some more. But I have some ideas, some interesting ideas. I don't know what I'm gonna do for Zephyr anymore because I can't really use Nightcap because he doesn't fucking drink.
I mean, you could it's the thing, Karma. Like whenever you met, I will still drink it.
You
I
have
will
a
just
whole
not drink
alcohol
it
based
regularly.
on you, and you don't even drink alcohol.
Oh, I'm so sorry that I want to better my life. I'll go back.
User, get down here with the rest of us.
Yeah, just fucking stay here down here with us.
Grab you by the ankles and drag you down to degeneracy.
We digress.
I'll get the pick and mix of STDs while I'm at it.
Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna do this one last shot and then we'll finally get started. Sorry about a little distraction, y'all. Chink. God damn. All right. Where?
We are never starting the episode. That's our life now. It is a perpetual D&D stream where
It's
just fucking
it's just
started.
perpetually us trying to fucking start the stream.
Yeah.
For the whole 4 hours, it's just be like, all right, let's get started.
I swear to God, my puppy is about to walk in the room and that's another 10 minutes gone.
Okay, Josh, fuck you.
Okay.
Okay.
I take that with open eyes.
This one I'm just gonna do it after we continue to keep going. So where we last left off is our group had dinner with Nico's family, with Freya and Cresselia and Nicholas. And after a tense meal, but still a delightful meal nonetheless, they managed to sleep through most of the night. And it's nice to have some calm peace. We have got some more time on our hands to kind of develop what's going on, but we decided that we were going to have a team meeting of sorts within Ayumi's tent, where she reveals a special kind of plant that grows for the religion of the Platinum Dragon that kind of opens up a group hallucination to memories of the people that are involved, in which we found some interesting things out about Nico. We saw perhaps what looked to be a small ASMR child that was being abused and taken by his family, while Nico seemed distracted by some kind of cart and necklace of some kind. But we came back to everyone beginning to start feeling like themselves, realizing that what they saw was an illusion, to which Aimee had presented the option to doing another if we'd so choose to. So I'd like to ask you, group, what would you like to do?
I mean, the first thing I'm gonna do is look over, see if there's anybody that looks uncomfortable with going again.
Okay, go ahead and roll for perception, I suppose.
Right. That is a 12 plus 5 or 6, I don't remember. Where is it? That is a... Come on. 5, so 17.
So you can tell that Nico doesn't necessarily look uncomfortable, but Nico does look angry. Other than that, Aimee, Kazim, what do you two look like after this hallucination?
Aimee has probably done this once or twice before, so she's kind of just not really nonchalant about it. She's just kind of trying to read the room because she doesn't know you all very well.
I will say that you've probably also got on your mind the fact that it looks like the dream had responded to Nico in some way, which did confuse you. So you might be thinking on that as well.
Yeah. That too.
Kazim?
So incredibly uncomfortable. Like on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being in the middle of a fucking Luigi's Mansion.
You see him just kind of sitting there, just kind of looking around. And Stylus, with that roll, you can kind of tell, is this the dream? Is this what's real? Is he kind of like touching the ground and like picking up the dirt? And yeah, that seems real. Yeah, Kazim is not very comfortable at all in this room.
Silas, is your mouth like really dry right now?
I think that may be the other plant. But you seem shaken.
Yeah, it's weird. We don't really do hallucinogenics in the church. It's
Said
it's
no
a
one
new
ever.
experience. Hey. We're not getting into that.
Anyway. Aimee's gonna kind of look at them and be like, if you need time, you may step out. It will not offend me.
No, let's fucking ball, man. Like, let's fucking free ball.
I'm sorry, can I insight that? To see if he's bullshitting or not?
Go for it.
To see if he's just like, oh yeah, I'm fine. That's a 3.
Yep, he's fine. Perfect.
I just
Also,
my
Carmen, I
big
saw
one.
you.
It's perfect.
I
Okay.
saw you.
If you're sure, Kazim, I thought you would have wanted to step out, but I suppose you know your limits better than I.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. Let's go for round 2.
As Nico in
Yeah.
your hand appears that pipe once more if you want to try it. Kazim, you instantly look at it and you just kind of back off a little bit. Because that did not help. That did not help how you felt at all.
All it did was make me cough.
It made it so much
I'm not
worse.
into it.
Kazim, you have figured out that the issues that you're feeling inside probably do come from the other plant, as nothing else seems different, but you definitely don't feel great.
See, they always tell you don't smoke, and then
Peer pressure.
who's up to bat?
This is
So-
why I don't smoke anything that I haven't harvested myself.
I'm just gonna shrug and I'm just gonna fucking take a whiff.
Roll for Constitution with advantage for me.
Oh bitches, I'm getting advantages now. Okay,
Oh, yeah, 'cause
well,
you're a druggie.
that is a 19 plus. Is it just Constitution or
Just
like
Constitution
that-
save.
Save. That is a dirty 20.
Yep, you take your kind of slow puffs as you sit there and release it, and it kind of weirdly, when you're watching the smoke leave, you see this tent seems to be perfectly set up for this, as it just kind of grabs the smoke and sucks it right up, so it doesn't fill up the tent.
I'm gonna like reach out the pipe towards. I mean, because if I remember correctly, she was smoking last time too.
Mm-hmm.
I think
She
Yeah.
did. She'll kind of bow her head slightly and accept, and then
Okay.
hand it back to you when she's done.
Okay.
Am I rolling, bestie?
No, you don't have to. You've done it enough.
Yeah.
So, are we going again?
I don't know. Does Silas want to take a puff too?
Silas doesn't smoke anything he hasn't picked himself. The same as he doesn't, unless he's in an establishment, he doesn't eat anything that he hasn't killed himself.
Oh,
Um,
watch my ass, I suppose.
But Silas will offer a hand to Kazim as a sort of comfort.
Okay. I'll take that hand.
And sort of,
I
He's like
mean,
shaking.
I imagine like Silas is sort
His
of.
face is calm
Yeah.
as shit, but you see like his
Yeah.
hand is trembling.
Silas will kind of move it
Wrench
up to that
sweat.
sort of.
Yeah, he's fucking
Yeah.
soaking, but his eyes are just so cool and confident. It's very
Yeah.
confusing to see.
I'll sort of like hold it up to like bring it sort of fists are kind of balled upwards slightly, and if you want out at any point, just say the word and I will get you out.
I appreciate that. I'm in.
All right.
I'm gonna cast Warding Bond on my good friend here.
Okay. And can you describe to me what that does?
A mote of light is going to pass from my necklace into Silas's chest,
Mm.
and essentially he has resistance from all damage for the next hour,
Mhm.
but I take half. I take
Ooh.
the exact same amount of damage he does whenever
Okay.
he's hit.
Okay. So you see this
Aw.
weird,
That's so cute.
bright, silvery light kind of come out of that, an emblem that's underneath seems to be Kazim's garments, as it just seems to be evaporating out of the clothes and floats across the little tent into Silas's chest. And Silas, when you feel it kind of enter into your body, it feels warm and comforting, and you also feel this weird like tether to Kazim, which is odd but very comforting.
You also get a +1 to your AC and all saving throws for the next hour.
Oh.
Cool.
Nice. All right. I would also do a thing to you, but it only lasts for a minute, and I don't know how much that will be worth, but fuck it. Let's do it anyway. I cast Bless on Kazim.
Because then you just see Silas with his faintly glowing fingers as he just kind of touches your back, and you feel this kind of relaxing wave kind of come over you.
Yeah, and I will extend it to Ayami and Nico as well, but like Kazim is the focus here. So Josh, whenever you do a saving throw or an attack roll, you get a d4.
We're the Bless Brothers, man. We're the ones that
It
cast
is?
it on everybody.
Fuck yes.
Fuck yeah.
I can also cast Bless. What the fuck? You know? I just
You can
did it
cast
last time.
Bless?
Yeah, totally.
The hell?
That's a warlock
I
spell?
totally can.
Roll for deception.
I can totally.
Roll for deception.
That would be a deception. Let's see. My deception is 19 total.
Yeah.
Ah,
Nico can cast bless.
I don't think I can insight. I don't think I can beat an insight on a 19. Fuck.
Totally.
So yeah, basically, Kazim, for the next hit that we take, yeah, you're covered, buddy. I got you.
Fuck you.
No. With that, Ayami is probably going to look at them and be like, would you like for me to try to guide this next journey, or shall we let it be as it is?
I will
Be
again
my
look to
guest.
Kazim.
Let's fucking spin the wheel. Let's have some fun.
All right.
All right. She's going to take the flower out of her bag, aka out of a pocket, and just kind of lift it up and drop it into the fire.
Okay. So as Aimi she pulls out that same flower as before, the silver lily, as she kind of closes her eyes and seems to pray over it, brings it over that small, weird, incandescent fire that's in the middle of her tent. It just kind of drops it as it slowly begins to ember and burn, and the smoke begins floating up above, and you start seeing that swirling of silvery, metallic, almost looking smoke. Okay. As the light around you begins to dim and the pockets in the walls seem to give way to this just eternal darkness that's around you, you slowly start to see a small light begin kind of going around you. It starts off dim, but you start seeing slowly building around you are these kind of rocks and seems to be trees, and you look up and you see this open blue skies. And Aimi seems very familiar to you of the Isles of the Sem, as you remember are when you were walking along the beach. You're on what you remember to be the main island. It's absolutely gorgeous out. The sun is beginning to beat, and all of you can feel the warmth coming from it. You feel a very slight breeze over what seems to be an endless body of water in front of you. You do see off in the distance are what seem to be land masses of some sort, but you see this very tropical looking scene around you as you turn around and you see what looks to be this beautiful, almost golden metallic structure behind you. It seems to be this large castle of some kind, as Aimi, you know this to be the castle of the Catalan Queen, where your mother, and actually generally you, reside. You've just, as you can recall, are looking over and you see what seems to be, all of you can see what looks to be a little bit younger Aimi walking with another kind of younger elven female of some kind. You see Aimi wearing her beautiful kind of green robe that she kind of normally wears, but it's much more clean. You're seeing these beautiful beads and shells kind of woven in her hair as she's wearing it as the harness as she normally does, but it seems much more meticulous. You're seeing this beautiful like platinum crown on her head, as well as these 10 different colored gems on top of it that seem to be describing of something. You're seeing different kinds of jewelry all on her arm that you've never seen. This version of Aimi seems very elegant, and seems very, just seems a little bit more graceful than what you have seen. Perhaps there's a reason for that. And then you see her with another younger elven woman that seems to be a little bit younger, maybe about the same age, about a good foot shorter than Aimi. She's got brown hair and she's got freckles on her face and such, and she seems in still elegant clothes, but not nearly as close to Aimi's. What do you guys want to do?
Honestly, Aime's probably going to bask in the sunlight for a minute before turning her attention to the actual memory itself.
Okay. The sand beneath you guys seems almost like white and warm and glistening, and you can feel your boots fall. It feels so real that you guys are actually kind of there. Aimi, you sit there basking in that warmth on your skin, and you guys can almost see this like glisten to her. What usually is kind of palish looks almost tan here as you feel the spray of the ocean and the salt water and the smell of the salt in the air. You seem like you're on a very expansive beach that goes around, and you see that they were walking down from what looks to be a path that probably leads closer towards the palace.
Ooh.
Silas is probably gonna go to the waterfront. I imagine this is the first time he's gonna
Silas has never seen a
beach.
fucking beach before.
Yeah, so like he's like gonna go up to like where the
God.
waves are kind of rolling up on the sand. He's gonna get down on one knee, kind of run the sand through his fingers, and
Okay.
like wash it off in the water, and just like kind of
Roll for perception for me.
Is this where we get our beach episode?
We've got a minute. Let's make it last. That is a 23.
So as you kind of go to where the shore the tide begins to kind of go about ankle deep. You reach down into the water, and as you're looking out, it is the largest expanse of water you've ever seen. You've never seen water that just never seems to end. The smell of salt water is new to you. It smells fresh and refreshing, but it's also kind of strange and odd as it's filling up your nostrils. You feel the cool yet slightly warm water as you pick up like kind of a handful of sand underneath, and it feels soft and smooth in your hand. You see what looks to be one or two seashells that seem to be in it. As you look a bit further away, you just see these beautiful bright colors of what seem to be some kind of, as Zephyr would know, is a coral reef, but there's these beautiful kind of structures of some kind of plant almost underneath. You're seeing reds and the greens and the blues and the yellows just expansing. It looks like an underwater gemstone mine is just wide open for as far as you can see. You've never seen such vibrant, clear water either. You get splashed in the face a little bit, and it throws you off guard as you're not used to that saltiness of seawater, which does kind of confuse you, but you do see quite a few fish swimming across as well. It's weird that you can see almost straight through the water pretty far down.
To the others, like Silas, is going to take a few moments. He's absolutely fucking starstruck. He's
Aww.
like, he has never... He loves the forest, but he has never seen anything this beautiful before.
Ivy's probably gonna like open her arms to, toward them and be like, "Welcome to my home."
Yeah, I am convinced that Nico will be, his eyes will be probably mostly, like, drilling into the palace itself. Like, he loves a good architecture, and he'll be most likely paying attention to that.
Okay.
Out of all the things.
How is Kazim?
He's a gunner.
Is he tripping balls?
He's fucking making fucking... What are they called? Snow angels?
Angels.
Snow angels.
Sand
in the
angel?
sand. Yeah.
So, I'd like all of you to roll for perception for me.
Oh, yeah, I got... That's loud.
Perception?
Yeah, perception.
8 total.
8, okay.
Yeah.
Net 20.
So 2 nat 20s.
27.
27.
Oh, fuck.
14?
14. Okay.
Fuck me.
Okay. So, Nico, you were just enamored by the beautiful glisten of what seems to be the obviously metallic walls of this huge structure in front of you. You're seeing also what seems to be like sandstone kind of border walls around what could be a town or something. As you see this, as you pay a little bit closer attention, but you are enamored by the architecture. It seems so free and less rigid because you've seen the swoops and the curves throughout the whole thing, as it looks almost like the flow of water. But that's all you can really fucking think about. Fuck everything else that's going on. Silas, you were so distracted by all the colors in the water. You could not give a shit by what's going on around you guys whatsoever. Kazim, as you kind of lay down, kind of doing your weird snow angels in the sand, it is the softest kind of material you felt in quite some time. You kind of just sink into it almost like memory foam. You're feeling each grain underneath you as well, but it doesn't feel rough or scratchy or anything like that. But as you are hearing that, as you're doing that, you do hear in Aimi's voice go, "Well, very well. If I must go to the Black Island, that is what I must do. What about him, though?" And you hear a voice off on the trail go, "Princess Aimi?" And you all turn around, and Aimi, you remember this as you look back, and you see what looks to be a soldier coming down in his beautiful, like, golden armor. It looks he's obviously very high up as he's got his full face helmet on. He's got a very large halberd that seems to almost end at a trident at one end. As it begins coming down, and he's holding something in his arm. Aimi, you know what this is. And you also, with that natural 20, Aimi, what's your total with your natural 20?
26.
You notice up at the top of the hill, which you didn't notice before, seems to be your sister for some reason. You don't remember her being there.
Okay. She's gonna kind of like glance at the gentleman and what he's holding and kind of like take a deep breath, and then look up at her sister and try to make as direct eye contact as she can to see her expression.
As you're looking to see her expression, you'd expect, based on the moment that you remember this is, you'd expect concern or perhaps sorrow. You see almost
Or shock.
You see a smirk on her face.
Okay.
As the soldier begins walking closer towards Aimi. And Kazim, I'm assuming you're still laying down doing it, but still kind of paying attention to this, right? Because you rolled a natural 20, so you're hearing all of this.
I feel like as soon as I started to hear conversation, I sat up to pay attention.
Okay, so you're just kind of sitting up as you see this beautiful golden soldier walking over with this kind of bundle underneath his arms. And you hear the soldier kind of walk up to Aimi, the princess version of Aimi. Excuse me. How do you make sure I get this right? Give me 1 second. This one. No, this one. Okay. The soldier kind of walks up and hands this bundle to Princess Aimi. As you see her kind of smile at the soldier as she grabs it and kind of looks down at it, and she, very confused, goes, "What is?" As she begins opening it, Kazim and Aimi, you both recognize it as the tent that Aimi brings with her. As you're seeing the familiar silk that kind of folds down, and she kind of looks down, confused, and looks back up the soldier. And you hear the soldier just say, I'm sorry, ma'am. Denalian hasn't been recovered." And you see the Princess Aimi just kind of face wash over with this kind of sorrow as... What happened? Well, ma'am, he was sent looking for some other explorers that we had, and he hasn't been seen in over 3 months. We did manage to recover his tent, but as far as we can tell, he appears to be lost, ma'am. As you begin kind of seeing her, you're seeing this teardrop kind of fall down her cheek. But you see the princess version of her seems very like regal and confident, as if she's trying not to show any of this expression at all. As she looks towards the other elf and she goes, "I will go to the Black Island." As she just kind of walks past this soldier, not making any kind of expression. You're, Kazim, you can tell that obviously this is bothering her a lot. Aimi, go ahead and actually, you know what? Roll for insight for me, Kazim.
You got it. Oh, that's a big fat mess. 13?
Okay, you look over at Aimi as she's watching this. Aimi, what you doing?
Honestly, she's probably turned her back to the whole situation. She has her eyes closed and she has her hand gripping the crystal that's around her neck, just trying to like calm herself and breathe.
Okay. Silas, you could tell that the Princess Aimi seems to be walking away a bit more upset as normal. And Aimi, that in itself kind of confuses you, thinking about your sister being up there, as she seemed very close with you. And now being able to see her, you kind of put it together. Why didn't she come down? Why was she just watching?
Yeah.
So as you guys are kind of sitting there enjoying, a few moments go by. And you see that the water begins to kind of... It begins fading out over the horizon as you see that border that was coming closer to you all, as... It's still pretty far out, but you can tell that it is beginning to move closer to you guys. As the Princess Aimi begins kind of slowly making her way down the trail back inside.
I'm
She's
gonna
probably
follow her.
I was about to say, she's probably gonna dust off her dress and be like, shall we continue?
Princess? Really?
Are you saying that, or are you just...
I'm saying that out
Okay.
loud.
Technically, I'm a queen now, but yes.
Oh, fuck off, tourist.
Oh, wow.
She's gonna.
So we're
cry
trying to get
because
along,
half-heartedly
Kazim.
giggle.
I-
Half-hearted giggles.
I can't call you princess or queenie. Like, that sounds more condescending. Like,
Which is why I did not introduce myself that way.
I mean, I suppose there's merit in that.
But come, there is more to this story.
all right, let's go.
So as you guys begin following slowly after Aimee's memory, you see that the smaller brown-haired elf just kind of breaks off to go in a different direction as you begin cresting over to the top of the path, and you see another similar-looking elf to Aimee standing up there. She seems a little bit younger, but obviously they seem to be related in some kind, as she is also wearing the crown as she's standing there, and she's kind of looking off to the side, but looks over. All four of you roll for insight.
Ooh. Dirty
This is
20.
the highest. Ooh. I got total of 8.
I got a 6, so honestly, Aimee's probably just trying to
Mhm.
avoid looking at her.
19.
Okay. So you said, Nika, what'd you get?
Total of 8.
Total of 8. All right. You see this
Inside,
younger,
come on.
this female princess, other princess kind of looking, go, Aimee, are you okay? What seems to be going on? As you see the other princess, Aimee, look towards her sister and go, they couldn't find him. He's gone. And you see the original, oh, dear sister. She gives her a hug. Kazim and Silas, she's faking. I mean, Nico, you have no idea. As they're kind of hugging each other, and you hear the Princess Aimee crying. All four of you roll for perception.
19.
15?
4.
17? Oh my god.
Nika's blind and he's living it.
I like to think like Silas is kind of almost mimicking what Kazim was like when they first met, because when we first met, I thought you were like a full-on cop detective. So
Okay.
he's like, right, that guy was a piece of shit. One of us needs to actually be a detective here.
That was a really
Because
good
it's just enjoying the
compartmentalization on my part.
So, what you get, Aimee?
It's 17.
So you guys see as she's hugging, as these two princesses are hugging, that the original one, your sister, Aimee, is kind of looking at the guard, and you see her mouthing something. It's kind of hard to see what he's mouthing, but she says, essentially just says, go. As he kind of does that weird, stance at the ready, salutes her, and begins walking off. Aimee, at this time before, you didn't realize that he left while you were hugging your sister. But you see the two sisters pull back from each other, and you just hear the younger one go, Aimee, do you need anything, sweetheart? No, it's fine. These things happen. I must get ready for the ceremony. As you see her sister go, the Black Island is still lucky to have you, Aimee, and take your time. There's no need to rush this. Shall we? As they begin kind of walking off. Yeah, Aimee, it's real weird. You didn't realize that her sister seemed to be... Your sister seems sus as fuck. Something's going on.
Oh,
Yeah.
family
Like-
drama.
I, obviously, knowing I cannot interact with the memory, I'm gonna go right up to her sister and just whisper, I know you know something.
Okay. You can roll for perception
Well,
to see if
yeah.
anything happens.
Yeah, sure, fuck it. 21.
Yeah, she doesn't really respond to it, but you do see... I'm gonna message you.
Oh.
Oh, okay. Oh shit. I didn't
Don't give up my shit, bruh.
I didn't think there'd be consequences to my actions.
Dun dun dun.
It's almost like we're playing D&D. Oh my god.
She.
Anyway, Aimi, Kazim, Nico, what do you guys do?
Somebody go
Everyone's-
first. I'm gauging my reactions off of you.
So Ayami's probably going to swiftly try to walk ahead of herself, like ahead of the princess version of her.
Mm-hmm.
Because she knows where they're going, so
Mhm.
she's just gonna go on ahead and get this over with.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I will have Nico follow you actually quite closely, but he's mostly sightseeing. He's just sightseeing.
Okay.
Silas is frozen.
Okay.
Oh.
Kazim?
I'm gonna try to stay on the princess's tail here.
Okay. Will Nico, Aimi, and Kazim please roll for perception for me?
Aye, Captain.
This is the best one I have today. 12 total.
12?
So, nat 20 again.
Nat
Woo,
20? Okay.
26.
24.
24. Okay. So as you guys begin walking through the streets of this beautiful kind of town, again, you're seeing it almost looks like it's
That's
made
what
out
I
of
think.
sand. It looks like it's a bunch of sand castles. It's beautiful. So as you begin walking down through the streets, you're seeing the different homes and businesses that are kind of there. You're noticing that the two sisters are kind of walking in silence behind you all, just kind of slowly making their way. But as you begin crossing one corner, Aimi, you remember this to be almost the main steps up to the capital, up to the palace, and you and Nico and Kazim notice that this whole street just seems to be one large kind of staircase that breaks off. As you begin realizing this town is almost built on a hill, on a mound, with walls all the way around it. So each platform has different houses and stuff like that. But this middle part right here just seems to be open all the way to the front gate of the island. It's just this huge road. And Aimi and Kazim, as you turn around quickly to kind of see the front gate that just kind of opens up to the expanse that is the ocean, Aimi, you notice that there seems to be a boat you don't remember being there, and near the front gate you see these two guards walking with seems to be a single person that you don't remember that day. It's kind of hard to see from this distance. They're pretty far away, but something you don't remember.
Okay. She's gonna kind of stop at the top of the stairs and watch.
Okay.
Are you alright, Aimi? Why did you stop?
That she's gonna kind of elegantly sway her hand to point down that way, and falling back into habits of where she is, and be like, "There's odd details that aren't quite what I remember down there."
Yeah, you tell me. What is supposed to be happening, like, right now?
This is my destiny falling into place. She's gonna turn her head and look down the stairs at herself.
At this time, you do see that the other version of Aimi kind of goes around the corner, and you see, at least Aimi and Kazim, you notice that the other version begins to kind of say something along the lines of, I have to go check on something real quick. And she begins turning down one direction, which, Aimi, you remember that you were going to go down towards the docks to perhaps see if you can send out a search party. But for some reason, you also remember your sister very quickly going, no. It'll all be taken care of in due time. We have to go take care of this first. And she managed to convince you to continue along with her up the stairs towards the palace.
Why was she so adamant that I not look for him?
Look for who?
My soul.
I think it's at this point Silas would have caught up with the group, and he is watching the sister like a fucking hawk.
Mm-hmm.
Like, javelin out.
I understand
Okay.
she hated him, but that was no reason to not let me try.
Let you try what? I am sorry, I feel like I'm extremely out of the loop.
What I
What are
hold
you
in my
talking about?
hand, what I hold in my hand there, she's gonna point at herself, is the tent that we sit in now. It belonged
Right.
to my other half. He took it with him on a scouting trip, and it was all that was recovered.
Like a soulmate.
Yes.
Was he like your husband? Like your fiance?
Denalian, we were not allowed to do that kind of thing with my betrothal.
Hmm. Oh.
Where
But
is your sister
I can
now?
explain. Probably still on the island with my mother, who we are about to see.
When the mother eventually shows up, I'm checking for that same
Okay.
detail.
Okay. Are you all just gonna continue following the princesses?
She's gonna check on Kazim.
Kazim, what you thinking?
Ah, a butterfly.
No, he
I mean,
rolled really
it
good.
is
He
really
noticed
pretty.
he noticed
Like-
pretty much all this shit.
I think Kazim's just trying to take it all in.
Okay.
I-
You're probably
as she-
with your perceptions, by the way, Kazim. You've probably pieced together something's not quite right, and her sister having her go the opposite direction from where she was gonna go, and then seeing that crowd down there. You're piecing some shit together.
Yeah.
Okay.
As she continues with them up the stairs, since she knows that there's gonna be like more quiet sorrow from herself than anything,
Mm-hmm.
she's going to kind of like piece to them, you know, this is the day where, yes, I was informed about this news, but I was also given the task that I have now. I was to be on the Black Island. Like, the ceremony is coming. This was now just a formality instead of anything. And she's gonna like give them the name of her sister and what they're about to see when she goes in.
Okay.
So as you guys begin walking up those steps, you're seeing the princess in front of you still seems very regal and gracefully walking up these steps as you see both of them kind of putting up this facade of elegance. But you're also looking back at Aimee and you're seeing her just, it's still pretty kind of there. You see her falling back into it, but at the same time, it seems like she's almost trying to distance herself from it because you see her deep within thought. As you begin walking up the last bit of steps, you notice that around you the platform seemed to have just leveled with just kind of different kinds of ramparts for guards to stand in case someone was to try and take over the castle. As you finally crest the very top of the steps and you see this very large kind of flat sandstone courtyard. You're seeing a few plants here and there, but then you're also noticing that the front of this large palace seems to just have this beautiful high double door that seems to almost end in like a curvy point. And again, the architecture just seems so fluid. There's no sharp edges anywhere that you can see. It all just seems very relaxed. It looks almost as if the ocean itself could have carved something like this. As you begin walking towards the door and you hear it begin to swing open and you see this older elf still with very beautiful skin. You can tell based on how many different elves you've seen, she's obviously older than the two princesses, but she walks out with this beautiful platinum crown that just has these large, long ivory spikes that seem to be kind of come from the top.
Oh.
A beautiful, elegant, platinum looking gown that seems to be making, every once in a while you see the chromatic look of all the different colors of dragon scales that are in the back of it, and when they're combined together seems to give this beautiful sheen to it that seems to be like a rainbow or platinum coming across it. You see her in this gorgeous golden gown that, with closer inspection, y'all can realize is made entirely out of golden dragon scales. So it seems to be this very heavy, beautiful golden gown that obviously was handmade out of dragon scales itself. As you just see her open up the door and begin walking out very gracefully and go, "There, my daughters. Aimee, come here." As she kind of opens up her arms, and you see Aimee's princess version begin walking towards her and hugs her and begins. And you just roll, all of you roll for perception for me.
Nat 20.
8 total?
Okay.
Total for 25.
Okay.
24?
Okay.
I was going to say Josh is currently
Yeah.
Josh is
nat
what?
1.
Oh no.
Wait, Josh got a nat 1?
Yeah.
Josh, did you really?
Okay. All right. So Josh is just kind of looking around. Whoa, cool.
Sabine? Yeah.
Lost in the beautifulness of all of this. But Nico, you're kind of lost in the looks of the weird garments that these people seem to be wearing. Silas, first off, no. Second off,
Okay.
you see that they begin hugging each other, and you do see what looks to be tears kind of going down into the mother's eyes. But then both of you notice this kind of weird, mean, angry look dart towards the other sister.
I was going to say, Karma, how do you say her name? The sister's name.
I need to fucking look up the spelling again. Give me 1 second.
I was going to say, because Ayami would tell them the names as she went.
Yeah, first
That way
off,
it
I
was a
remember
little
your
easier.
fucking crazy ass Drexto's name.
Yeah. His acidic grace.
So you're asking for your sister's name?
Yeah, that
There-
way they can know her name.
Nerenti.
So Ayami would probably refer to her as Near.
Yeah, Nair.
Sisterly love.
Yeah, I mean,
I did come up with a last name for them, by the way. Woo.
you're not sure why, but your mother seems angry towards your sister, and you do notice that her hug and that her care for you is very obviously genuine, but you don't know why your mother was giving a dark, mean look to your sister.
Your mother knew the truth.
Ayami's gonna kind of like turn her head and look at you a little confused.
When we are out of this, I will explain. And we will see what Tamiel knew.
Wait, what?
Okay.
Why are you bringing
Again, once we are out of this place, once we know that we are alone, I will tell you what I saw. But not here. I don't want to ruin the memory.
As you're saying this, you just hear the mother go, kind of wipe her face a little bit, and she goes, "Now, Aimee, let's go relax, enjoy some time before we have to deal with all of the political nonsense that we're gonna have to put up for the next few days. We have a wedding to prepare for. Come on." As she kind of begins motioning herself in, you both notice that Nair doesn't join you, doesn't follow them at all. Just kind of stands there watching as Aimee and her mother begin walking into the castle.
I do not know what happens outside of that room. So the fade will come quickly if we do not follow.
Is she looking in a particular direction, the girl?
You see her
the
looking.
sister?
You see her. Actually, you know what? Roll for a perception.
That'll love too. Not sure what.
Yeah, real hard to tell.
I
See, what are you looking at? Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Kazim says I got an 18.
You know, I'm gonna grab a different dice. I'll be back.
And no, he's talking about his his stats.
He's explaining his perception roll.
Oh yeah. Oh my god. But you know, I'm gonna give different dice a chance. Why not? I'm
Sorry, I'm back.
Cool.
You're good.
Welcome back.
Important phone call.
You're good.
Also, Bestie,
Hmm.
the last name that I came up with, do you want me to send it to you?
Yes.
Cool. Cool. On it.
So do you
What
all
were we
follow?
for perception?
yeah.
if you want to, Nico was trying to see what direction the sister was facing.
I actually rolled an 18, so there we go.
It's very clear that Nair is facing towards the docks, the opposite direction that those two are going.
So her name kind of rhymes.
Okay, are we following? What are we doing?
I will be standing next to Narenti right up until the fade, and then I will follow.
Okay.
You go probably just like keep close to Amy at this point. He's lost. He's lost here.
She's probably gonna look at him and be like, "Well, would you like to see more of the lovely picture?" To try to cheer herself back up.
Could you repeat that? Like it was.
It was cutting out.
Yeah.
Oh, well, would you like to see more of the architecture?
I actually would enjoy that. Yes. I've never.
Because she's going.
This is the island of the sun, right?
This is the main aisle. Yes.
This is the
Home of
main
my mother.
owl. How many owls are there in general? Roughly.
As many as there are platinum dragons. Well, not platinum, but metal dragons. She kind of like meh, the metal part.
Huh? I was never one for history, so I've never heard of this place before.
Well, this is the home of the Talon Queen. She is wife, so as to say, to the main dragon, and the
Yeah.
other isles are owned by his 10 children. Well, 9 children. 10 isles. I think.
I mean, if your mother, if you don't mind me asking, of course, if your mother is betrothed to a dragon, why wed? She's wed, but she still has a family of her own, I'd imagine, since you are not a...
That was his wish.
It is... It is quite interesting. How far away are the... Like, from... Roughly from... Like... Okay, Ethyl is a region, right? Like, it is
Yeah,
like a region...
it's essentially a continent.
Yeah. Like, how far away would you say the islands are from the Ethyls?
It's about, from what you remember, I mean, you wouldn't know just because it didn't take you this long, but you know it's about a 3-month boat trip.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, she would say by boat approximately 3 months. Give or take.
That is quite the journey. Huh.
Would I hear that bit, Karma?
Yes.
Shit.
Do you miss home?
I miss my main island, yes. Do I miss the Black Island? It's hard to say.
When was the last time you were back home. I mean, sure, like you're here now, with us, but like
It's been a minute, hasn't it?
It's been a while, but it's hard for you to tell because you know it's a 3-month boat trip, but you also don't think it's been 3 months since you've been gone, so you're confused. It's hard to tell.
That would be a question for Dragstone.
so you're just traveling around. You don't have
I was not the main one doing the traveling.
Huh. So you don't retain any of the memories when he was at the forefront.
Unless he wants me to, no.
So as you are beginning to walk through the doors, you are noticing that the walls are very smooth, but seem to still to be that kind of tannish sandstone look. Incredibly tall. You do notice that there's not very many, like, you see that there are glass windows, but it's not stained glass like any of the other ones, but you are seeing there seems to be, like, large seashells kind of embedded in the different walls. On the outside, it looks like metallic gold, but in the inside, again, kind of has that kind of weird sand castle-y look to it, which, I mean, this feels very comforting to you. The floors underneath you seem to be this kind of, like, almost sand tiles, but you see it looks like it's inlaid with gold throughout the entire thing. It looks incredibly extravagant.
Oh.
Also, if people would look, it would probably not only be her not wearing shoes. Not everybody wouldn't wear shoes, but most people wouldn't.
Yeah, you see a lot of people wearing, like, you know, open-toed sandals or barefoot, as everything seems to be smooth and comfortable. You do see a few people wearing shoes, but there are a lot of people that aren't.
Oh man, that sounds like fucking heaven, honestly. Is this some sort of a castle, a palace? Is it like a church?
This is home.
Where are we? Home. As in, you have your own living room, your own kitchen here. You like.
As in, this is the palace that my mother and her husband claim as home. It is the center of the island.
Did you spend a lot of time here?
I was raised here. Given the nursery ward is not near this section, but yes.
I imagine you were close with your mother and her husband, perhaps?
That is its own story.
I suppose.
All of you roll for perception for me, by the way.
Okay, well, let's try the other die.
Oh, there's the bad roll.
So much better.
There's the bad roll. That's a 9.
14.
18 fucking total.
I know this memory like the back of my goddamn hand, apparently. Natural 20 with a +6.
Okay, so
I need to get a different set of dice.
Kazim and Silas, you are still looking around at the different artifacts that seem to be on the kind of on the walls and stuff. It's weird. A lot of the things seem to be like embedded in the walls rather than hanging on them. Aimee and Nico, you look over and you see what seems to be a elf of some kind that seems both familiar and not. To both of you, weirdly enough.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm just gonna like just cock my head slightly, and you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna walk up to the whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay. Roll for.
Aimee's gonna follow and look at Nico, kind of puzzled. Like, why does Nico remember this?
Roll for investigation.
What is? Oh, am I better at investigation? I think I am. I am better at investigation. We need to tunnel.
Weirdly enough, so the facial structure and the body itself doesn't seem familiar, but there's some air about this being that seems familiar to you as you begin walking up, and you see in their eyes seem to be this weird astral sea kind of look that seems very reminiscent to you, in a voice inside your head.
Oh. Huh.
He seems to be just kind of talking to a random person that's just kind of there. The voice doesn't sound the same, but those eyes are very distinct.
I may. How well do you know everyone around the castle? Like, I imagine it's a very closed off society. How well do you know people here?
I spent pretty much 80 some odd years of my life here, so fairly decently.
Huh.
Why? What puzzles you?
I must have. I thought I'd recognize someone, but I don't know where that would have been from.
This one. She's gonna point at him.
Yes. Yeah. That one.
Karma, what name would she know him by?
You don't know his name. He's a person that you've just seen around the castle a few times, and he's the dude that showed up to your fucking ceremony.
He actually was a guest, if I remember correctly.
Really?
Yes.
How long ago was that?
Well, if I was around...
You don't... you remember during this memory, you don't remember... You didn't know who this person was. During this specific memory, you have never seen him before. It was after this memory that you met him.
She's gonna, like, sit there and think for a moment and be like, honestly, this would have been one of the first few days of meeting him.
You did meet him afterwards. What are you doing with, like,
It was in regards to
know.
the ceremony. It was after the ceremony when I actually was introduced to him.
Oh. Like acquaintance of your family, or just
Everyone
like
here is
You just-
family, so
You just remember your mother calling him a longtime friend, and that's all she said.
kind of family friend, like past family kind of thing. It was mother. It's hard to explain.
Would you call this a good memory?
The beach, no. What is to follow? Only partly. But the flower chooses what it believes will connect people the most.
Oh, that's how it works.
Just like the pool in which it comes from.
I've never seen the flower before. I've never heard of it either. So it's supposed to show us things that would connect us.
Mostly it is used to connect the priestesses or the queens with the knowledge they need from their other or the past queen. Knowledge that it thinks is worthy of being transferred.
Wouldn't it be something along the lines of... I don't know how it actually works, but the power of remembrance, isn't this something similar to that? I mean, you're passing on memories from different people. Well,
You could say it has a touch from that.
I imagine the flowers are extremely rare in that case.
They are only in their shelter, if that's the proper word.
Alright.
At this point, you guys all hear Aimi, as you look up and you see these three what seem to be different younger elves begin walking down, and they begin kind of giggling and go, all right, we have to go dress shopping. We have to go find something that fits you. Come on, let's go. And Aimi, you remember these? It's kind of like you remember them as your friends. You're not 100% sure if they just liked you because you were a princess, but you remember you spent a lot of time with these females as they are beginning to go with you to try and get you your outfit ready for the ceremony, which was, as you remember, a lot of fun, and you feel like they did it on purpose to distract you from the information that you just got. You always remembered having this weird feeling that everyone got the news before you, and you weren't sure who was just trying to comfort you and who was actually trying to spend time with you. But you remember going off and getting the dress with these women as the fade begins kind of coming in a little bit. Generally, you know at this point that the effects seem to be wearing off.
Yeah. Well, as much as I'm sure you would appreciate clothes shopping with elves, but it appears that our
What
time
gives
is-
that away? I am a pinnacle of how should I say it? Fashion, right?
architecture. So maybe.
Well, I enjoy myself a nice view that I do.
And what are our friends up to? She's gonna kind of like look around to see where.
Oh
they're at.
yeah.
Because even
Right.
Silas is still kind of like looking at the walls, and you see Silas just kind of weirdly trying to figure out how things are sticking to the wall, because he's noticed that none of them are actually hanging there. They all seem to be attached to it. So you see him just trying to figure that out.
None of this shit makes sense to him. He is like
He's super confused by this.
I'm back on the
Like,
floor making more noise.
he's never
Because
seen.
he's just on the ground trying to make a snow angel on the only solid surface in here.
I don't actually think Silas would have ever seen so much metal in one place, other than maybe Peak Barrow, but that was
That's
more
true.
marble.
That's true.
So like, he's like, wait, you guys trade in gold, and yet you have enough to build this? This is why it doesn't make sense.
Economy, right?
It's like the
How does
most
that work?
expensive bricks ever.
Actually, Aimee's gonna kind of like gather them all in the middle, and then get one more glance at home.
So as you all are kind of gathering in the middle, and you're seeing the beautiful kind of sandy looking steps that kind of go up to where Aimi has gone off to go dress shopping, and you look around and you're seeing just the kind of countless entrances to different hallways and stuff, you begin noticing the sheer quantity of different kinds of people around. There are the humans, there are, weirdly enough, some dwarves. You don't see any orcs. You do see a few kobolds and dragonborns around. It does seem like a very diverse group of people. And Aimi, it brings you warmth kind of looking around and seeing all these different kinds of people, remembering how easy it was to kind of bring people together on this island, that you remember there not really being much in the way of fighting or discourse, really. It just kind of seems everyone was just able to be here. You're looking at the different metal frameworks and the different oriental kind of decorations on the trims and on the banisters of the rails. It all is just so uniquely fluid and comforting as everything around you begins to kind of fade to black as you all begin to start feeling that feeling of sitting down once more, and the light of the campfire in front of you begins to slowly radiate out as you guys realize that you are once again in Aimi's tent.
Again, like, immediately look into Kazeem. Like, is he good?
I think Kazim's kind of deep in thought right now, or at least he looks like he is.
Yes, you thinking about golden bricks?
He's thinking about gold.
He's thinking about how he's gonna rob the Isles of the Sound.
Oh my god.
That's what he's thinking about.
The walls are made of this stuff. You could just take a chisel and you're rich.
I doubt the dragon of that hold would appreciate that.
I can outrun a dragon. I'm short and fat. I'm pretty sure I can outrun a dragon.
Oh my goodness.
Like
Can you
80%.
outrun?
I can outrun a purple worm. I can outrun anything.
I can outrun a purple worm for sure. I can outrun a dragon.
Kazim, just because you managed to actually quote unquote outrun a purple purple dragon. No, the purple worm. I don't think you should hedge your bets when it comes to things bigger than that.
Not.
Flying purple worms can't.
I can also fly. Credit where
Dragons
credit.
can fly
50 feet.
longer than
Dragons
you.
can fly faster.
And
Much
longer.
faster.
They have a bigger wingspan.
Anyway,
Touche.
I'm going to turn to
In all
Silas
fairness, Kazim's never actually seen a dragon besides Draxto.
So,
I don't think any of us seen the dragon except for Amy.
if that's
I've
what
read about
dragons
them.
are, I could outrun a dragon.
Yeah, his only reference is Draxto, and he could outrun Draxto. So it's valid that he would 100% think he can outrun a dragon.
That's a black dragon? Easy.
She's going to turn to Silas and be like, you had something you wanted to talk about.
Amiel, I know you can hear us. Show yourself. I have questions for Amy.
Is he creeping on us?
When is he not?
I thought he'd be
Okay.
stuck outside the tent or something.
He did step outside that tent, didn't he?
No. You never let him out.
He gave
been-
you the pipe, and then just
Yeah, he's been in your head this whole
Okay.
time.
yeah.
I'd like to
What?
cast True Sight.
Okay, so you put on the
Oh.
armband?
I have always had the armband on.
Okay,
At
but
least I
you're
did it.
using it to cast True Sight.
Yeah.
People
As
go-
you begin to kind of see around you, you are seeing these weird, by the way, in all of these different pockets, you're seeing these weird, holes, it seemed to be, by the way. Super fucking confusing, super weird. The whole thing seems to be filled with just these dark holes all over the place. But then you
It's
also,
weird.
yeah, you look behind Nico, and you do see Tamiel standing there, kind of leaning against the wall as he looks over you and goes, "Hello, Kazim."
I can hear him, nobody else can.
Nico can hear him.
And point at him and say, "Hey, Silas has questions for you."
I heard. Nico, I can either...
Yes.
Would you like to release me, or would you like me to just kind of speak through you?
You know what? I think I'll go for the... I think I'll go for the second option.
Very well. As you see, this is... By the way, Kazim, this is super fucking weird for you to see. As you see Tammy walking up behind Nico, and you see him put his hands on Nico's shoulders, and you see this weird kind of shift where all of a sudden his skin becomes very pale, and you see his hair kind of darken, you see his eyes flip sides, and realize that you're now looking at Nico standing behind Nico. And Silas, you see Nico kind of close his eyes for a moment, and then when he opens them up, you see that his black and his golden eye have switched places as he looks at you and goes, "I understand you have questions."
One for you, many for her. And I will sit down in front of Amy. What was your relationship like with your sister?
We were sisters. We were friends at odds. We got along when it suited us, and when it suited Mother.
Was there ever a time where you noticed a shift in her personality at all, or think hard, Amy?
Karma?
you can roll for... At this point, it would be history.
All right. Jesus, why are they all stuck in the thing? There it is. Hip. Oh, great. The one that I don't really know where it is. Okay. That's a 19 total.
You remember a night a few years prior to the memory you just had, where you and, what was his name again?
Denalian?
Yeah, Denalian were out for your kind of midnight stroll. And you also remember a weird... You heard the alarms going off within the castle, and you remember that someone's saying the princess is gone, the princess is missing. You remember finding her later somewhere on the island. She seemed to have fallen down a pit at some point. That was just... She seemed to like she went on a late night walk, which your family is prone to do. You guys do enjoy... are free to walk amongst most of it. But you remember that her being found within a pit, and since then, she hasn't really seemed like... incredibly different, but you've always felt in the back of your mind there's always been something that's just kind of off.
She took a tumble. I would like to say a week before that memory happened. But that didn't seem very odd. It was just maybe she hurt her head on the way down.
I then lock eyes with Tamiel. Did you do dealings with only Draxler, but also Amy's family?
Not with Ayami's families. I was performing a deal with someone I've made a very long time ago.
I suppose I cannot hate you for not knowing.
Oh, I am fully aware of what happened. There was a reason you saw me. And Kazim
No.
and Aimi, you just put it together that you guys fucking saw him in that dream. You don't remember? Aimi, you've pieced it together that he was that person.
And you never bothered to share that we were traveling with the sister of a doppelganger.
Oh, her sister. That, well, obviously she can't be the sister of a doppelganger. That just was one.
Semantics.
Well, do you judge her based on that? Because she's not. And Aimi, you've just realized, I think you've heard what they said, right?
Yes, but she also doesn't really know what a doppelganger is.
That's true.
To clarify, I'm looking at everybody in the tent with true sight.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's a doppelganger, right?
No one is a doppelganger in here.
Cool.
I
I mean,
hold it.
It's a fair and excellent question, I feel, at this point.
Yeah.
Anyway, what were you saying, Aimi?
Aimi is just looking at Silas rather confused because she doesn't understand what he means. But she does look at Tammy and be like, why were you there that night?
I was looking for something. And I've made a deal with someone a long time ago to keep an eye, and I have been.
So when we were going about trying to get information on doppelgangers and getting that information to as many people as possible, you at no thought it'd be a good idea that maybe we should know that the Isles of Decem are in jeopardy as well.
Oh, they're no longer in jeopardy.
Is they're
guess.
already dead?
No, absolutely not, because the one that you've seen before has been dealt with. Other things have happened after that memory.
Well, hold on. I don't know if you would know the answer to this, and this may seem crazy. Do we know that doppelganger?
Are you asking me or are you asking Tammy?
I'm asking Tamiel.
You know someone that is similar to that one, I would say.
we've met doppelgangers. I'm asking, is that the doppelganger? The asshole that's been a thorn in our side?
No, because that one hasn't yet been dealt with. And apparently this one has.
That's
Okay.
correct.
That could mean a dozen different things. It could mean he got found out and left the island.
No.
Right?
He was not going to be returning at any point.
Hard-
This is prior to Nico, when other things were able to be found.
And once again proves that you had a lot of information that would have been useful to us and you never bothered to share.
As if you'd believe me?
At least you could say you tried.
I don't give anything out free, dear Silas. I only give out what's necessary.
Condescending attitude, bitch.
You're one to talk, Kazim.
You.
Of course, even the fate of the world couldn't satisfy your ego.
The fate of the
Cameo.
world is within my own hand. Yes?
Would Ventus approve of you holding information from people?
Roll for insight?
Ventus?
Sorry, she a little grumpy right now. Apologies, friends.
Silas a lot grumpy right now. You're okay.
13. No, that's 15. 13. Huh.
What is it?
15.
You just see him kind of smirk at you and go, now, where did you hear that name?
Or perhaps it was. Oh, Silas, help me remember the other one.
Vecna.
Started with a. Yes, that one.
Seems that Draxto is sharing a bunch of information that he doesn't know anything about. Interesting.
Which is why I've come to you with it.
Who's Vecna?
Vecna is a evil being that existed a long time ago.
Does that have anything to do with my sister and why you were at my ceremony?
I wish that life was as strange as that. Unfortunately, there was some other reason I was there. It just was coincidence. I will say that there were plans to corrupt the Isle, but how could one let something as beautiful as that just disappear? I didn't want that to happen, and I made sure it didn't.
I mean,
Then-
I think it goes without saying at this point, but your sister, on the night of that tumble, was replaced by an agent of Therastoon.
Is
Very
it
clever, Kazim. It's interesting how you... Or very clever, Silas. It's interesting how you can piece those things together.
Wrong boy there.
I know, I try to correct him, Silas.
Yep.
So
So
okay.
Tamayo,
Yes.
with that knowledge then, where is Denalian?
You'll be happy to know he is alive. And interestingly enough, he's here in Ethyl.
Holy fuck. To clarify, because I'm sure everybody, including myself, knows this, but for chat, Ethyl is the name of the continent.
Yeah, Ethyl is the
Yes.
entire continent that you
Yes.
guys are on.
Desem is the continent in which the memory just took place.
Yeah, Desem is the Isle kind of country, or the island kind of country you guys were just in a memory of. Ethyl is the entire continent you guys are currently on.
Mm.
Just making sure that's not fantasy.
Yeah, just to be clear.
I'm sorry. I think I need to go back to this. You said this Vecna would care what he's doing. Why? Is that like your boss, Tammy?
Vecna would not care at all what I'd be doing. In fact, I'd hope that he'd be against what I'd be doing.
Do I
I just-
believe that?
Oh.
Roll for insight.
That was almost a 1, but instead it's a 24.
He's 100%, you can tell, being honest.
I
I
don't.
have the
trust him.
distinct feeling that while he was on my isles, he was a puppet of the Theras Dune that you all are having issues with.
Different means with the same end. And
Tammy-
should I assume that in a memory that Kazim or I are to have, you will also be there lurking in the shadows? Or again, is that another one of your lucky coincidences?
More than likely not. Unfortunately, I didn't have the honor of being connected to the two of you. It is intriguing that you were able to spot me out from inside that memory. Very interesting. But no, Silas, your memories are your own, and Kazim, yours are your own. It was just sheer coincidence that you've seen me in such a dream.
If you show up in mine, I'm gonna be pissed. All right.
I will make sure that if I am in your dream, that I am flipping you off.
No, just don't be in my dream, man. Right? Like,
Very well, Kazim. As long as it's not one of the recent ones in which you've gotten the delight of speaking to me, I'll make sure that I'm nowhere near you.
everybody has super important experiences. Mine, I'm just stuck in a conversation with you. It's one serious question for you though, Tammy. And I
Serious
guess
question? Interesting.
partially serious. I don't know. I don't know if Nico is still conscious
Yes,
right now.
Nico's. Are you gonna ask him this? Because you can very clearly see Nico looking at you as you're asking this question. He's fucking fully aware that you're asking this question.
I have my hands like crossed at my like on my chest, just like cocking my head, looking at like, cause I'm like, really?
Did I misunderstand what happened? I thought that Tammy was talking through Nico right now.
Yeah, you see behind Nico is Nico for some reason, when before it was Tammy.
Okay. I thought
it's like Tammy's soul is.
Yeah,
in the
it's
body.
like they swap places.
I see. Okay.
It's just the body of Nico didn't change.
I thought Tammy just made himself look like Nico. No. Okay.
Sassmaster 5000.
You, with your true sight, you'd be able to figure that out because the body of Nico is speaking without the ghost making any kind of movements or notions except kind of watching. So I will say
Yes.
Kazim himself would have probably put that together.
Because I'm so intelligent.
What is intelligence?
Anyway,
Tammy and Nico, why were you being called Tammy in the dream if it was Nico? Right?
it's an interesting question. And you see him kind of look up at you, Nico, kind of wondering if he should say something.
I mean, I don't know, Kazim. Why would it be?
You changed your name as Nico and Nom de Plume? I don't know.
Are they both hiding information now?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Kazim.
Well,
I can't hear
Boy.
what you're saying, so that reaction makes me feel like you didn't say anything of note.
You
I
can see,
suppose.
Silas, when you say that, you see Tammy kind of look over at you and goes, "Unfortunately, I am not at liberty to share this information purely based on a deal that has been struck."
You signed an NDA. Fucker. Let's...
Wait a moment. Nico, did you give him your name?
No, he did not give me his name. Unfortunately, that was just a deal that has been offered to someone else here that has been declined.
No, but
That was me. I remember that.
it was you.
Callbacks.
For For an exercise that was meant to help us get closer to one another, you truly do enjoy your secrets, Nico.
God, it is hard to talk with you, Silas, and I can actually fucking talk to you. Oh my god. But since I can hear that, I'm just gonna look at Kazim and like ask him to actually you know,
You want to trust
you
me
know
to
what-
repeat your words?
No, I don't. I'm gonna I'm gonna turn to Tammy instead. You can tell him that oh, fuck. How should I even put it?
Silas, this is one of those secrets intended for one's safety rather than trying to hide information.
Let's say I was trying to put my past behind me. And just because
Nico would like you to know that he was attempting to prepare himself for a new life and put his past behind him.
Well, he's done a very poor job of that by coming into the memory den.
Well, the intent
Trademark.
was to share an experience amongst each other to kind of understand where one comes from. It's a very intimate and trusting thing to do, to share those kinds of experiences, to share those kinds of memories, no matter how heartbreaking they are. Yet here you are, still judging. Perhaps there are other reasons than just making sure the big mean green guy doesn't find out this information, Silas. Perhaps you should be more thoughtful towards others.
I judge only as I have been judged.
oh, you know what? I'm gonna snap back. Fuck it. I'm gonna fucking snap back. Like,
So you want to take back over?
oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I'm
As you
fucking taking over.
Very well. As you see Nico close his eyes and realize that he opens them back up and they've turned back. And Kazim, you see Nico kind of like grab his own head, and all of a sudden it's just a very quick phew. All of a sudden he's turned into Tammy as Tammy just kind of sits back and goes to lean against the wall.
Judge you, Silas. If there is one thing I have never done, is judge you, Silas.
I judge the world as I have been judged. I am surrounded by rich folk, by religious zealots and queens. My entire time with you has been in places I do not understand the function of. My entire existence in this group has been for people to lay their weight upon, to confide in, and to kill when necessary. Asked to hide the secrets of others. My place in this group, to me, it is no more than a pack mule.
A
I carry the
mule.
burden of hiding Kazim's misdoings. I carry the burden of having to accept who you are. To be forced to like you and Tamiel because everybody else
You're
does.
not forced to like anyone, Silence. You don't have to fucking like me. You don't have to like him either.
Or when you are the only person who sees what I have seen, when you are the only person, as far as I know, or has been made known to me, who shares my doubts, who shares my concerns, the only one, who do you go to? I can't go to you. You'll side with him over me or a second thought. Can't go to Kazim, he still has uses for Tamiel. I can't go to Iami or Draxto because dealings have been made. I can talk to no one because my gods will judge me for it. I can complain to no one because my son will see me as weak. I cannot take revenge for what has been done to me because I will become the monster that Tammy thinks I am. I cannot accept what has happened because then I'm going against the beliefs of my gods. All I ask is that information on our enemy is shared. And yet I am mocked, as though I should have been accepting of this from the beginning. Do not laugh at me as though Tammy does not mock me. That may not be how you see it, but that is how it feels.
I'm with Silas on this one. Tammy, I've been saying this since day one. Tammy's been a complete and total dickhead to all of us. Mistrix.
Sure, as a personality, sure, he might be a fucking dick. But, like...
He's withholding important information from us. He's condescending. He's actively been more of a hindrance than a boon in our systems. And on top of all of it, he just acts like an asshole when we ask him questions. And I... Honestly... He's dragging us down. He's putting the brakes on.
Really now?
Yeah, really.
Nico,
I mean,
have you not
first of
seen how
all,
they treat your company?
First of all, I don't want to point it out, but you guys are fucking total dicks too. Just so you know, it is fucking mutual. First of all, second of all, for like what, 2 weeks? 3 weeks maybe, and you think that this is enough time to be able to tell like a person's intentions or like what they're holding within them, like suddenly you know everything about the person just because they're being a dick to you.
Okay, how about this? Show of hands. Tammy, I want to see yours in a second. Who made an orb that our friend Mistrix is trapped in where people are stuck in eternal dreams? Raise your hands. Tammy? I sure as hell didn't. I sure as hell didn't get her stuck in there and fucking crocodile tear immediately after. How about that? I didn't play.
He did not
hey,
get her
guys.
stuck there whatsoever.
He's the one that made it. If he didn't make it, it wouldn't have been a problem, right? Nobody would be stuck in there, except for the 30-something people who are. Show of hands if you said, hey, if you go get this scroll, which you definitely need, I will be grabbing it and using it for my own personal gain. Again, I should better see 2 hands right now.
First of all, Mistrix chose to stay there.
To save Silas from staying in there instead.
Because he was not listening, was he now?
It's a prisoner's dilemma that wouldn't have happened if Tammy didn't make the fucking orb. Am I the only one that sees this? Tammy's been honestly a roadblock. And he's the reason we don't have her right now. If he never did it, we would still have Mistrix. We could have gone and gotten that scroll, but we all...
If he didn't stop her, she would have been fucking dead by now anyway.
As far as they're concerned, she is dead, Nico. Do you not see that in their eyes?
How are we going to get her? We buried her. She's gone. We're not getting her back, and it's Tammy's fault. Moving on to the scroll, the only reason I second-guessed going and getting something that might help Tharizdun is because Tammy looked us in the eyes and said, if you grab it, I will be taking it and using it. It's the only reason I even considered for a second
that he is going to use it. Not even the
Am I misremembering that?
Yeah, he didn't say he was going to use it.
That is my mistake. I'm misremembering.
He said that he wants it so that no one can have it, period. Not us, not the doppelgangers, not Tharizdun, no one can have it.
But honestly, how can you trust that if he was part of Tharizdun?
believe me, I can trust him. None of you understand this. None of you will ever understand this.
And we're
Help
trying
us
to understand.
understand
He's dodging questions. He's acting shady. We can't understand him when he's actively going against the understanding. And it's a lot. It's a fucking lot.
If you have never, I don't know, lied to any of us or made something seem one way or be the other, or like, I don't know, like constantly trying to fucking kill each other. No, it's fucking different, Kazim.
I don't lie in life or death situations. Like, I don't know.
You were fucking dying before, okay? First of all, I thought you were fucking dying. I was genuinely fucking concerned for you.
I had a real curse on me that I was not aware of the full stipulations of. That is...
Nico, in all of my years dealing with dragons, I have never seen one shake in fear before. But when it comes to Tamiel, fear has been stricken in the soul of a dragon. Explain that to me.
Am I supposed to be explaining to you that Tamiel is what? That he has magical abilities, that he is powerful? What am I supposed to explain to you?
The one with the answers is in your head and has been for as long as we've known you.
He knows what we ask.
When I asked him the origin of his power, all he said was it's connected to Tharizdun. That is all I got.
He was able to cut Tourist here in half in seconds and took the asshole out of her. What the hell, right?
He nearly killed me in a single blow. The only thing that
you nearly fucking killed me too, didn't you?
Yes, I did, out of anger to stop the both of you from bickering. But he nearly annihilated my existence in a single blow. The only reason he didn't is because orcs are stubborn enough to live through death.
Wacky as hell. I'm just saying.
I don't care if he has good intentions at the moment, Nico, because as far as I'm aware, that is a being in your head with free will that has the power to annihilate life with the mention of his own name. With a thought. Power to banish an entire being, a doppelganger, to the other side of existence. All because you said please.
He's capital T toxic, dude. He's...
You are playing... You called yourself the other day a lover and not a fighter, and yet you wield the power of gods you don't even understand.
Oh yeah?
And you...
I am the one wielding the power of gods.
I relinquish my power of the gods if I have
really?
to. For your safety,
really now?
For your safety, I would give up this power in a heartbeat. I traveled to a city I did not know because Kazim asked me for help. I was willing to go into a cave and face certain death to protect Mistrix. I have fought purple worms and slavers to get you home to your sister. Do not dare question what I am willing to do for these people. Don't you dare question me on that.
I had a fucking family once. You know, Silas? I fucking lost my family too. I found myself another family. I am willing to fight for my family. I went on this fucking stupid adventure with all of you because I care for my fucking family and I want to keep them safe. And everything that you faced, Silas, I fucking faced too. With the difference that I haven't tried to kill any fucking single one of you.
Okay.
One of you fucking lies to me all the time. Second one is trying to fucking kill me because he can't control his own fucking fucking hands. Like, fellas, like, remember when Kazim, you know, and Mistrix had a disagreement, right? And you were like, oh, like in our ways, like in the orc ways, like we fight it out. Like you forbade me from interfering, right? Remember that?
Yes,
But
I
when
did.
Kazim and I were fighting, what did you like? You don't give shit for your own traditions, and you're trying to fucking.
Are we
He
going
dropped
there?
me first.
Are we going
he dropped
there?
me first, to be
so
fair.
because I remember specifically, I let you fight. I specifically stayed out of the way, and then when Kazim acted, once the fight was over and he had lost, he tried to
And
do
then you feel
another
like you
tactic.
fucking need to just step in and be like, oh, the big savior Silas. He
I
proves
was
the
trying
stop
to
the
stop
fucking
you
fighting.
from being stabbed in the back. And then I took you out as well, and I specifically said to Tammy that I went for both of you because I didn't want anyone, I didn't want Kazim or you to think that I was playing favorites. I made that expressed and clear.
Or really, because it fucking sure, like, it fucking didn't feel like that.
Well, at least I'm brave enough to use my words, unlike your unsultry master.
Tammy,
I don't have a master, Silas. I have a
Yes.
friend.
I want to make eye contact with that squirrely fuck in the corner.
Oh, you muted.
He sees you just kind of sitting. You see him kind of sitting there, just against the wall. No smile or smirk this time, as he just kind of sits there thinking.
Did you know what happened to him in the tower that night? Did you know? I'm talking about good old Pops that died.
Oh,
Taryn.
you see him sitting there, and you just see him thinking. I came moments too late.
You are, by our definition, a god, and you were late to saving the only family I had. And
You see him kind of sit there. It's my job to save your family. And you see him stand up and begin walking towards you and go, you could have stayed.
okay, when you say you got there late, that tells me you knew something was happening and you were late.
I knew something wrong and apparently was the only one with enough heart to go see what it was.
Okay.
You left
What
him.
you're telling me,
You abandoned him,
Tammy,
and you try and pin it on me?
Tammy, listen to me right now. You are not a part of this team. That's what you just told me. You said it's not your job to save my family. Then what are the rest of us doing? We're helping Nico's family. We're avenging Silas's family. We're helping fucking everybody in the world. But you couldn't help Taryn. That tells me you're not a part of this team. That tells me you're dragging us down. You're slowing
Why didn't
us.
you help Taryn, Kazim?
Because I'm not omnipotent, asshole. I can't see through walls. I don't know what's happening around every corner.
Neither
Unlike
can
somebody
I.
with powers
But
of a
I can
fucking god.
I can see when one is hurting enough. You saw it too.
He was
You
grieving
ignored
a
it.
lover.
And you
What am
ignored
I-
him.
I did not
You
ignore
ignored him and you left him. And you feel
I did
so
not
much
ignore
guilt
him.
that you decide to blame me for it. For your own faults, Kazim. I am no god. But I am human enough to be able to see when someone needs me.
Open the damn tent.
I mean, do you open the tent?
She's going to look at them all. Like, she can't see Tammy, but
Nope.
she assumes
No
that,
one,
you know,
no
he was
one
arguing
except
with-
for
he was
Kazim and
arguing with
Nico
somebody.
heard what happened, what Tammy just said to him.
This was not my intention for bringing you here. Your qualms are your own. I do not know your issues. But I can tell you from what I do know, this is not how you are meant to leave this.
Is the tent open?
I mean, it doesn't lock. I mean, it's a tent.
Yeah.
Did you go check?
I thought it like turned into iron.
So it turns like rigid, but when you go over to it, you can easily just kind of push and it'll just kind of fly open because it's just kind of like a curved sheet metal, but it feels like it's on a hinge if you're able to push it open.
Now, remind me, where's the tent set up? Is it set up in the warehouse?
It's
Just
outside.
outside of the
It's
city.
outside of the city.
Cool. I'm gonna stand up, walk to the exit. Mr. Locke, it's been a pleasure.
I hope I served you well.
And I'm gone.
Does anyone do anything as he begins storming out of the tent?
I follow him.
Okay.
I'm just gonna look to Nico.
I suppose it's not how the scene was supposed to go.
The grievances are seen. And if they are not handled properly, they fester. I know you can see when he is out. I did not have that ability. So, if I may ask, I know you want to leave, but how did you not see or say anything when you could clearly see they felt this way when he talks to them? Do you not care for them?
I care for Silas. I care for Kazim. I care for Mistrix.
You called the humans your family. Then you would do anything to protect them. How are those two any different? And with that, she's going to get up and dust off her dress and take a step outside to let him have a moment with Tammy.
Everything is falling apart. Again.
As it does, as I don't enjoy groups. They all hurt and need something to blame. So they blame the only powerful thing that they believe can fix everything that decided not to. You have to know, Nico, I did try, but it was too late.
I know you tried. I know you would try if you could. You would have. I know that. They will never see you the way that I do. They will never understand where you're coming from. They will never even try to understand. Never again.
Nico, unfortunate
Yes.
things about life is no one will ever understand. I will always be scary. I will always be the unknown, and unfortunately is the curse of one whose life such as mine. But I do not wish to ostracize you from your group, as they do care for you. However misguided and uninformed they may be at most times, they do care for you, and it's one thing I can notice. But never let me stop you from being able to care for them. I will always care for you, Nico, no matter what, but I think they need you more than you need me at this moment.
I will always need you. You're always there.
I will always be around, but I think it's best if I take a step back for a while. I'll always be there for the rests, but perhaps for now, I don't intervene as much.
You're leaving.
No, not leaving. Just sitting in silence for a while.
We came here to fight doppelgangers. We have a fucking mission that was given to us by chance. I've known those people for maybe 3 weeks.
Well,
Yes, I care for them, but I mean,
if you'd like, we can always spend some time on our own for a while and let them get accustomed if you'd prefer. Perhaps they could do for a moment without us.
but they'd be happy to.
I have an idea of where we can go. Shall we?
As far away from here as possible.
Kazim, Silas, what did you guys do when you left the tent?
I'm following him wherever he goes.
Okay. And Ayami, where did you go?
She is probably going over to Draxstone.
Okay. So while Kazim, I'm assuming when you left, you started flying towards your warehouse.
I'm flying into the city, but I'm trying to break the tail.
Okay. So Silas, as you walk out, you see Kazim beginning to fly towards the city, knowing you have a little bit of a walk. And Ayami, as you leave, you kind of start walking over towards Draxto, and you see the tent begin opening up, and you see out steps Nico with this kind of anger in his face as he kind of looks over to you and just turns around and begins walking away into the forest. And that's where we're going to take our break. So,
I would like
we'll
to
start
exist.
We'll start with Nico, I think, as we begin. You leave the tent and you kind of look over and see Ayami. Do you say anything to her as you begin walking away?
We'll just send her like a sad smile.
She's probably like seeing him out of the corner of her eye, just kind of stops and does a low like curtsy, and then kind of like puts her hand, like she does the salute that others do to her to him.
Okay.
You know what? I will do something that Nico hasn't done before, much of it before. He's going to do the utmost of royal of bows that he like you give it to the monarchy, basically.
You see all of a sudden Nico kind of turn to you and he puts his fist across his chest as he puts his hand behind his back and just kind of gives you a low bow as he kind of stands back up, gives you a sad smile, and turns around and begins walking off into the forest. As you begin walking, Nico, you go pretty far away as you feel this kind of calling to go towards what Tammy has told you is the town of Kin. He's told you, essentially started to lead you in that way. You kind of walk for a few hours it's just into the forest, and I need you to make a dexterity saving throw with disadvantage.
disadvantage, huh? Dexterity saving throw.
Dexterity saving throw.
Oh, it's not as bad as I thought. 15.
All of a sudden, you feel this kind of weird, draining feeling going over you as you look down and notice the crystal that is on your necklace shatters. And you feel this weird clamp go across your neck as all of a sudden you're grabbed from behind and you see that creepy, smiling version of Bon standing above you. Goes, did we have a fight? We'd like to speak with you.
Yes, son of a bitch.
Now, all of a sudden, we'll go back to Aimee, as you were standing in the forest with Draxto near the tent. What are you guys talking about?
She's gonna roughly inform him of what happened.
So they still don't like him.
They do not. And they have taken it out on the youngling, I'm afraid.
Well, it seems that their adventure must have come to an end.
And why would you say that?
Obviously, what kind of repair could they do to this group? They've shattered.
Well,
They've come apart at the seams.
I was hoping to get your help with that.
Me? What would you expect of me to help?
I know that you have your qualms with Tamiel, just as they did. But you know more about him than they do. I guess, to put it bluntly, I am asking for your help to enlighten them, or at least convince Nico that enlightenment is needed.
See that puff of smoke once more, and he goes, very well. I will do my best.
First, will you help me find, I guess, all of them?
Well, let's go see if we can't find the other two first. Kazim, you went to go fly off and try and lose any kind of tail that you had.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and roll for stealth.
Oh, that's going to be a high number. That's... Where'd my stat sheet go? Okay.
Get a 2, get a 2, get a 2.
10.
Okay, Silas, with your passive perception, you are easily able to kind of track him. As you can tell that he's like, as soon as you guys come up to the town, he's trying to duck down in between the buildings to try and kind of lose you. But you've tracked enough animals and birds that you're able to kind of follow behind and listen very carefully through all of the crowd. Kazim, where do you go? You feel like you've lost him. You think you lost Silas, so where do you go?
I have a room up in the flow. I'm gonna go land on my balcony.
Okay, so Silas, you see Kazim flying through the streets and all of a sudden kind of take off a little bit higher up towards a balcony on the second floor as you see him land at a room and kind of look around and just walk inside.
I use disguise self to make myself look like a just regular member of the flow. And then make my way up to his room.
Wee whoop, we're in Rivers Run, you can't do it.
Oh fuck yeah, no, I
Illusion
forgot about
magic.
that.
No,
Cool.
You can still try it. I'm not sure if you're 100%
no.
sure if it would work.
No, like, me as Zephyr forgot it, Silas would not have forgotten.
Yeah,
Kazim's meltdown. So, in which, no, I'm just gonna I'm just gonna go up to his room, knock on the door.
Okay, so
Meltdown's a strong word.
you begin walking through the streets up towards the flow and up the stairs. You try and best guess which room it was. Go ahead and roll for perception for me.
17.
All right, so you're able to kind of approximate what door might be his. As Kazim, you land inside your room and you kind of walk inside and you see that it's that kind of more traditional royal kind of room, much better than the other ones that are around. And you sit there for a moment as you begin kind of, are you packing things? What are you doing in there?
The first thing I do is I'm locking the door.
The front door or the what?
The door that leads out of the room.
Okay.
Into like the flow.
Okay.
I'm not gonna pack anything. I'm just gonna lay down on the bed.
Okay. So you lay down for a little while, kind of thinking and processing everything that seems to have happened. As after a few moments, you hear the jiggling of the doorknob and someone trying to push it open, and then you just hear a kind of not forceful but very strong knock at the door.
I'm gonna double check really quick that this is my room, but still got my shit in it.
Yes, it's 100% your room. Silas, you've walked up to the second floor and you went up to the door. I assumed you tried to open it, but you realized it was locked, so you knocked on it.
Yeah. And I'll wait.
I'll just stay quiet.
Okay. You can go ahead and roll for stealth with advantage.
Just like trying to hold my breath.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay. Thank God for advantage. That's an 18.
Silas, you can try and roll for perception if you want to. See if you can maybe hear if he's in there or not.
17.
It's dead quiet. Doesn't sound like anyone's in the room.
I'm gonna go get a bit of parchment and like an ink pot and a quill. And I'm gonna write Kazim a letter, and Josh, I will message it to you. And Karma, if you want a copy of it as well,
Yes, please.
yep, I'll write that in a minute. But I'm gonna write him a letter, and I leave him with the letter outside his door.
So you're just you're gonna leave it on the outside and not like slide it underneath or anything?
Well, I'm gonna slide the letter through, but on the outside of the door, I leave the brooch of curses. I leave the purest dagger, and I leave the bag of holding.
Okay.
I will take basically from that bag of holding, I put in my basic travel equipment. I will try and get my bedroll, water skin, torch, tinderbox, and rope, but the food and the mess kit I will leave in there.
Okay. You notice the rope is gone, but you pull everything else out.
Okay. Cool. So I'll delete you. And then I'll leave those 3 items out there.
Okay.
And go to the garrison.
Okay. So, Kazim, as you're laying there for a few moments, holding your breath, making sure that no one can hear you, after a few minutes, it's been a little while, you hear what sounds like the slight rustling of paper underneath the door, and you hear what sounds like maybe like tacking or something to the actual door. You hear like scratching as if someone's putting on the outside of the door. And as you kind of look up, you see that there's a letter at the door. But then you hear the heavy footsteps of Silas, which you assume who it is, walking down the hall and going quiet to where you can't hear it.
I'll grab the letter.
Okay.
Open it.
Okay, cool.
And in Kazim fashion, read the first line and pocket the rest.
So as that's happening, I'll give him some time. Aimi, you are walking back towards town. You saw Silas kind of going into the streets, but he was a little further ahead of you all. You try your best to keep up with him. Go ahead and roll for perception for me.
Are you talking to me?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Hold on. The kid is evil. Hold on.
Man, this music slaps.
Okay. Sorry about that. That is a 14. Good sir.
So, for the most part, you're able to kind of follow them. Since Silas wasn't really being sneaky, you're able to follow him into the flow. You're not sure why he was going into the flow, but you are able to kind of follow him for a moment. Do you follow him all the way into the flow? What do you do?
Probably. I mean, she is trying to get a hold of them, so.
Okay, so as you're kind of trailing behind, you see Silas. You do manage to kind of go up to the flow. You get stopped to kind of wait in the foyer of the flow, and you kind of sit down for a few minutes as you see Silas's you see Silas begin walking down the steps from the second floor, and I assume that both of you would make eye contact with each other and recognize that you're both there.
I mean,
Silas, this is after you've written your letter.
Yeah, she would try to wave at him.
Silas will nod his head, but sort of be a mixed expression of anger and defeated, I think.
Does it look like he's willing to stop and talk to her, or?
With enough convincing.
Okay, well then she will approach him.
Okay.
I understand that you aren't feeling the best at this very moment.
An orc's anger is as prevalent as his fangs.
Well, I think they're quite dashing. She's gonna try to have the playful little banter to lessen his tension.
Not as sharp as my wife's.
Well, I was hoping.
Damage.
Divided.
I want to cast mini DM lightning.
Okay, we're back. Sorry.
Oh, hello, friends. Okay. So, yeah, we were, yeah.
From what little I can understand of this, Tamiel and I will never see eye to eye. He is too much of an anomaly and speaks in too many riddles for an orc to understand. Kazim, for all I know, has already fled the city and gone to possibly Pebblestone, possibly some other town. Perhaps he's gone to your homeland to steal whatever gold he can get his hands on, and I very much doubt that Nico will want to say more than 2 words to me, those being fuck off. the next time we meet.
Mayhaps I shouldn't have sent the dragon after the bird then. She's gonna like bite her lip as like
Which at this moment, for some reason, Kazim, you see landing on your balcony is a black small dragon.
I definitely didn't close that shit. I should have got a flying dragon.
There's just a dragon now on your balcony. As you see him just kind of standing there looking at you, and you just see that black smoke spewing out of his nose.
Well, he knows Draconic.
In
I've
Draconic.
I re-looked at the thing. He can't actually speak. It's just grunts.
Oh.
It's just telepathically with you.
Oh. So I'm assuming he's told me he found him?
Yes.
Little brother can't speak?
Mm-mm.
Aw.
She's gonna look at Silas and be like, oh, well, it's perfect. He's upstairs.
In which case, he does not wish to speak to me at this time.
He may be suffering a little more with the trauma that he unloaded.
Perhaps.
But none of us need to be alone at this moment. There is a great divide in your party. One that I am technically partially to blame for.
You had good intention. Which I also believe at the beginning of this, Tamiel also had, but...
Then why can we not look at it like that? Maybe if we come at it from that angle, maybe he'll be a little more understanding and a little more talkative.
Because in my experience, I gave him the opportunity to be straight with me, and I have tried on several occasions, either with Tamiel directly or with Nico, to make it clear.
Silas, do you not see that he thinks of Nico as his own child? And if you were in the same situation, as I know you've had a child, would you not feel the same way to keep secrets to keep him safe?
That is not my way.
Yes, but as a parent, I'm sure you can understand one wanting to do so. Mainly what I'm trying to say is I fear we came at this at the wrong angle. And I do not wish to see such good friends severed because of a flower in a tent.
I fear Nico does not see it that way.
He is hurt because the one person he thought he could trust most doesn't get along with the other person he thought he could trust.
I have tried. I swear to you, on your honor,
I believe
applied
you.
to the dragons, but Nico, Kazim, Mistrix, and I all knew each other for the same length of time.
Where is she? Your friend.
Dahlia, as far as I know, is with her mother.
Then she is not gone so far as not to be able to talk to you. Somehow she can talk to you.
I mean her no offense, but a bard's consort is not what I need.
She was more than just a bard to you.
Of course she was.
And then she was more than just a bard to them if they feel so at war with her death. Get her input. And the least, if you have no other way of talking to her, talk to her one last time before you completely abolish the person who you say has her.
I don't know what he did with her. It was gone before I heard a tune on the wind, and that was it. No words, no somber story, no witty remark, no encore, whatever that means.
If I find them and I ask him to let you talk to her, would you see him one more time?
I can say with truest honesty that I do not know. Because
Nothing for her.
if there is one thing Tamiel has always been right about, it is that an orc on a warpath is never satisfied.
What if I come with him?
All due respect, Iami, but no amount of friendship or companionship can help me know what I will do. I did not want to be how I was just now. But
Then take your time. I will find them, and I will find her for you.
I cannot promise Nico's safety.
He walked the other way. You have no worries. I will find your Dahlia. Just at least try to stay where I can find you a little easier than I can find her. That'll be a little helpful, you know?
I will be at the garrison training the guard, and you can tell Draxo that if Kazim wants to meet with me, then that is where I will be for the rest of the day. Somebody
Then it will
needs
be
to
so.
teach them how to fight our enemy. Whether
She's
or
gonna
not-
give him the quaint little curtsy.
Even though they're like in the middle of a library, Silas will, with his glaive, cut the smallest sort of slit on the palm of his hand and let a drop of blood fall onto the ground.
Okay.
And then
Hopefully I will see you on the morrow.
I will not be leaving town unless given orders to do so.
Good. I rather like having you around. And she's gonna turn kind of sassily and walk out.
And I will go to the garrison.
Well, this is happening. Kazim, what the fuck are you doing about the dragon that's at your balcony?
Probably been like nodding at him and saying hey in Draconic, trying to get a response.
I heard
You
that you're
just-
supposed to play dead.
You just kind of see him just kind of go.
So
As I mean, this whole time he goes, I don't know what to do. He can't talk to me.
go inside and let me in.
All of a sudden, because you see him like walking over to the door, and you see him kind of like stand up on his hind legs and try his best to kind of unlock it.
I'm gonna cut in front of him. I'm gonna like corral him away from the door like a
Let's
typical
pray
game.
about him. Better kitty.
Bad boy. No, he can't. Don't fuck with my door.
Does he tell me that there's interruption in
Yes, he tells you he's
have
like
my
he
permission.
won't let me near him.
this? You have my permission this once, without harming Kazim, to burn the luck on the door.
She said without hurting me. On the record.
So while you're trying to like corral him, like you got your arms out, like come on, back, you demon. You see him just kind of growing.
Yeah,
That
kidding.
you see this acid kind of dripping from his mouth as he just kind of quickly, and you see this little tiny missile just and begins sizzling, and you hear the just ting 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 as the metal of the door handle just kind of falls apart, and now there's just the door where the door handle used to be, and the door just kind of. And you see Ivy standing there.
I'm gonna have to pay for that.
You just see him go,
She's just gonna pull a couple gold coins out of her pocket.
black smoke coming out of his nose. He just walks over towards the balcony and lays down.
Well, now I don't have locks on my door. You little dickbag.
I mean, your head. You go. He should have let me just unlock the door.
You should have just let him unlock the door then.
You scared the shit out of me. What the fuck, man?
Nodded to him. You nodded to him and said hello.
What the
And
fuck?
he cannot speak without me. What did you expect?
I don't know. Not you to be just like, on the other side of the door, he just broke.
And your door was locked. Now it is not.
What the fuck, man? What kind of logic is that? Oh, you locked your door? How dare you? Let me send my dragon to destroy it.
Point of order. That's 100% how Kazim thinks.
I did not send the dragon to destroy
hypocrite.
your door. I sent the dragon to get the door unlocked so I could talk to you.
I don't want to talk to you. This is destruction
I did
of
not ask.
property
I
and
did not ask you.
trespassing.
Excuse me.
Oh, my
I did not
apologies,
ask
Your
you.
Majesty.
To talk to me, I asked you to let me talk. That does not require your voice.
I don't want
So you can go about with what you were doing.
get out of my
As long
room.
as your ears are open.
Get out of my room.
You are a child, aren't you? She's gonna look at you kind of puzzled.
What? Fuck? Yes. Yes, I am.
Say the line, Josh.
I'm 6.
Yes. No, it is.
I will replace the lock on your door. There is no worry of that.
We're gonna put it like that one.
It's not the point. It's the principle.
Okay.
I don't know how things go on fucking Dragon Island, okay? But where I'm from,
Once again,
we don't destroy locks to get in.
if you had let him unlock it.
Oh, so
We
it's
wouldn't
my
be in.
fault. It's my fault you destroyed my lock. I
Mhm.
see. Hey, get the fuck out!
You did not want to talk. Why are you still talking?
You just
Why
hear
are you still here?
you just hear that growling chuckle coming from Drax.
Would you rather
Margaret!
I listen to watch you?
Margaret, can I get security?
Oh my god. Can I speak to your manager?
It seems like Karen confirmed. After like a few moments, you do hear the quick footsteps, light footsteps. As you just see that person at the door and go,
Are we letting just anybody up to the private quarters of our priest, man? What the fuck?
she was talking to Silas, and I knew that Silas knew you, so I thought that she knew you.
I
She
do.
does know me, but that's you gotta like vet, man. Like she's been here twice.
I'm sorry. What happened to your door?
This-
Oh God! What is that on the
This is what I'm
balcony?
talking about. We vet people, Margaret.
Kazim, what's on your balcony? As you see her
Don't worry
frozen
about
in
it.
fear, there's just a black dragon just laying down, just looking at you two.
Margaret,
I think I should. What?
new policy. Go back downstairs. Have guards stationed at the stairs asking for actual members of the flow to only be allowed access, with +1s, of course.
I'm sorry, but that would mean you wouldn't be able to go up here.
I'm a member. I'm a member of the flow. This is my room, Margaret.
You're a member of the light, I thought.
I'm
Yeah.
transferred over here temporarily, Margaret. Keep up.
Roll for a deception with
It's not a
disadvantage.
deception.
It is a
It's accurate.
It's not. You never once talked to them about that.
Can I point out his vestments?
I'm wearing
Oh,
vestments of the flow.
He is, but that's why I'm saying you roll with this. Roll for what's it called?
With advantage or disadvantage?
This is disadvantage because this is the person that would have that information. This would be the first person to have that information.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, where's my deception? That's a 5.
I don't mean to argue, but you're not.
Okay. How about this? Let me rephrase it like this. Only members of the Church of Palor. Is that more helpful, Margaret?
We're not a Church of Palor, so...
You know what I'm... What are you talking about, Margaret?
I don't...
You never noticed.
I don't understand.
How do I have to word this? Just have guards at the stairs. What, Margaret? Come on.
So, do you want me to make it so that no one can come visit you specifically?
You're being so obtuse about this for no reason, Margaret. You know what I mean?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I have to know what I'm supposed to tell the guards.
Bring Graymore to talk to me, and can we get a locksmith?
Okay. Give me a
Thank you, Margaret.
while to find him. Give me a little while at the... Yeah. As you see her just kind of...
You know what? Before you go, I'm sorry, tensions are high. I'm gonna palm her the couple of gold that she literally just handed me. I'm sorry. Just please bring me Graymore, and if I can get a locksmith within the day, that'd be great.
I think we'll find someone to fix that. Okay. And are you sure not to worry about the thing that's on your balcony?
They're friendly. We just need to have people vetting here.
Well,
she's been here twice and she showed up with a dragon.
I'll be honest. That thing did not walk through our building. That would not have made it. How am I supposed to stop that?
We have guards in the city. Are you telling me not a single guard noticed the dragon?
If I might, aren't you supposed to be guarding against something that can take the shape of other things?
We have magic to protect against that now. Tourist? What the fuck?
You turn around and Margaret's just gone. She left.
I love her to death, but they pay her too much.
I mean, only members of the Flow can go up here. You're not a member of Flow. Only members of the Church of...
I don't take the stairs, so that doesn't apply to me.
Only people in the Church of Palor. You are the only person besides the Rays in the entire city.
Karma?
Yeah.
Can I cast Mending on the door?
Yeah, absolutely. As you see her just kind of, Ayumi just kind of sarcastically just kind of walk over and just kind of wave her hand over it, and you just see this beautiful like black, kind of grayish, greenish color come from her hand as you see all of a sudden that melted metal begins to kind of form back into the normal door handle and lock.
And you still let me ask for the locksmith. You didn't stop me.
I told you I was going to fix it, did I not?
You didn't! You handed me gold and said you would get it fixed.
I got it fixed.
Speak fast. Whatever you're gonna say.
I know that what happened in the tent was between your little party. I wish to apologize for inciting it in the way that I did. It was not my intention.
You didn't incite anything.
I locked the three of you in a tent.
It would have happened whether or not we were in a tent, in a warehouse, camping in the woods. This was bound to happen. It's not your fault. It's that invisible asshole.
If I can find a way to help him get your friend back, will that in any way help?
Help what? What are you trying to help here, man?
Help you and Silas and what part of Nico you like. Not be so torn apart.
I like Nico. I don't like Tammy. I feel like that's incredibly clear.
All right. Well, then what can I do in this situation to help ease the turmoil that is clearly going on with you?
Give us time. We're only people. We can't get over this overnight. It just takes time. I don't understand what it is with everybody. I clearly stormed off to be alone, and almost everybody followed me.
I followed because the conversation that you had is matching this situation oddly to the point. Someone was in need. Someone was in need, from your opinion. You talked to them, and you did what you could. So I am doing the same. That is how you handle situations, so I am trying my best to accommodate how you handle things.
Sure deal.
I will do what I can, and then I will leave.
What's your deal? You just kind of showed up, told us how we're supposed to grieve, and then
I did not tell you how to grieve. I am sorry you misconstrued it that way. I showed you how I am used to people grieving. I know not of your land, I know not of your customs, I know not of your speech half the time. I am doing what I do the best way that I can do it in this circumstance. What I do is I repair the state of a nation, and I am trying my best to repair the state of this group as if it were so.
Is that it? Is that everything?
She's just going to turn around and leave.
As you begin walking out at Kazim, you notice that Draxto just kind of stands up, shakes off a little bit, looks at you, and then just kind of takes off.
I'll stick my tongue out at him.
I mean, as you begin walking out, you see that woman coming back with Archmage Greymore as he begins walking back. And there's another gnome that seems to be following behind with like a little tool kit as they begin walking back, and you can...
She's gonna kind of like put her hand up to Margaret and be like, the locksmith isn't necessary, thank you.
You see Margaret kind of go, and you see the gnome just kind of look at you, and then just kind of turn around and go, okay, and just starts walking away.
And then she's going to bow and do her little salute to the Archmage or Archduke or whatever the fuck he is, and head down the stairs.
Okay. As that's happening, Kazim, as you're sitting in your room, finally it's some alone time. The door is still open, and you hear Margaret and Archmage. You hear the little talk going out of Aimi telling you the locksmith's not needed. And you see Greymore kind of gracefully just kind of glide in. He goes, Kazim, I understand you needed to see me.
We got to do something about security in this place, man. But that's not why I wanted to talk to you.
All right. What would you need?
As you're already aware, the Rays are in town. They're going to be doing a lot of protecting. We've got the illusion shields up so that we can't do any illusion magic here in town, which hopefully will prevent against the doppelgangers. I'm not sure if it's 100%, but I haven't seen proof to the contrary, so that's good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be in town for a bit longer, setting up a soup kitchen in that warehouse.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be all hands on deck on that. Do you know any good contractors?
I think we can put you in touch with a few in the morning if you'd like, or a little bit later today if you'd like. As I think they might be doing some work kind of around the marketplace, but yes, there are quite a few in town that they'd probably be able to help you with what you need.
I'd like to be kept in contact about all things to do with doppelgangers. Myself and my team have splits, as it were. I still am here to make sure that this threat of the doppelgangers is taken care of efficiently and effectively. I'd like to be kept in contact about all things in that regard. Yeah, that's
Very
pretty much
well. I think we can. I think we can do that. Let Margaret. Will you go back down and will you get him Jonathan's information to go look out for him? Yeah, yes, sir. As Margaret kind of quickly walks down and goes, "If there's nothing else, Kazim, good luck, and let us know if you need anything else."
There is one more thing.
Oh,
Have you heard the name Vecna before?
that's interesting. I have, but can I ask why?
Personal projects.
All right. Well, from what I understand, Vecna was a. I don't want to say a god in a sense, because he wasn't. He was the product of a lich ritual, from what I understand. He was a wizard that was looking for everlasting life or something like that. And something had happened, and essentially his body had turned into this just maleficent kind of being named Vecna. But that was, I want to say, centuries ago since he's been really around. There's not much information on him, as to be perfectly honest, we're not quite sure that he's real. Obviously, we didn't think doppelgangers were real either, but he's not so much as folklore as it's just kind of been forgotten into the ether. But I think I might have a book or two that might have some information on him if you'd like.
Please send them up.
Absolutely. They'll be from my personal collection, so do be careful with them.
Of course.
If there's nothing else, I'll have those books sent right up, and I will have Margaret come back with Jonathan's information for you.
Thank you, Archmage.
Anytime. And you see Archmage just kind of quickly bow, and he turns around and does his graceful glide away. Silas, where are you going? You're going to the...
I'm going to the garrison. Yep.
Okay, so you're going to do a bit of your training with the guards, right?
I basically, because if I remember correctly from session 0, there's like this sort of big yard that they train in,
Correct.
or something along those lines. I just barge through the door. I just walk in.
Okay. As you kind of walk in, you see the large gravel courtyard. You're seeing the archery range on one side. You're also seeing some test practice dummies and another sparring ring. As you see, kind of on this platform in the middle seems to be a much more armored, adorned kind of person, perhaps the person in charge. As he turns around and he goes, "Who is walking into my courtyard?"
I will simply, without saying a word, walk up onto the platform, take my glaive, and slam it down into the ground of the... I assume wood, but whatever it may be, just to try and make as loud a noise as possible to get everyone's attention.
You see quite a few people stop and all kind of turn to you as you see this general and go, "And why do you think you have the right to approach me, soldier?"
Why do you think you have the right to address me as soldier? My name is Silas Locke. And I believe I'm the only man in this garrison right now who has seen a doppelganger and fought one face to face.
Silas Locke, you're the one that ventured off to go find the doppelgangers, right?
The very same.
I've heard a lot about you. I've also heard what you've done to your little friend.
Yes. Rumors are a nasty sort, aren't they?
What do you think, men? Do we allow him to show us what the all-powerful Silas Locke can do? And you do hear a couple like, yeah, but you hear a bunch more just kind of like, boo! You come in here with this authority?
Well, I believe that we have very much proven the existence of doppelgangers. We've all seen the defenses put up around the city, have we not?
We've already had some help by the Rays. What more could you possibly think that you could provide us, Silas Locke?
Experience. How many doppelgangers have you slayed in battle?
Myself? None. But as you can see over there, and you see these two people wearing the same kind of vestments that Kazim was wearing, but fully armored, and they're pretty big motherfuckers, and go, I could assume that they've probably seen a thing or two, and they've been teaching us enough, so if you'd really like to show us what you're made of, perhaps you can see if you can best our best.
I think that's fair.
Cedric! And you see one of the very large men. He's got kind of like a 5 o'clock shadow on. He's taller than you, which is pretty fucking tall, as he kind of walks out with this large greatsword on his back, and he stabs it into the ground, standing at attention, and goes, This fine young orc would like to try and test you in combat. Care to show him what you're made of? And you see him kind of pick up his sword and put it on his shoulder as he goes, I accept your challenge, Silas Locke.
I'll smile, jump off the platform, and offer a hand for him to shake.
He looks down, and he grabs your hand and shakes it. And it's a very firm, solid grip as he goes, I've been needing a warm-up. Shall we? As he points over to what is clearly like a sparring kind of ring.
We shall. It's been a while since I've had some proper exercise.
Very
If
well.
nothing else, we'll have a story to tell.
I've heard stories of your misadventures, and I'd very much like to see what you're made of yourself, Sir Silas Locke. As you kind of look around, and you do see... Roll for perception for me.
Yep, sure thing. Ooh, that's an 18.
You notice that there's a few orcs in the crowd that seem to be looking, and one of them is quite familiar to you as the orc that was on the balcony when you guys went into the basement to look for the mirror.
Hey.
He has joined the guard, it seems, as he stands there, and he kind of gives you an approving little nod, and you see Cedric.
Do I see the boy orc that tried to steal from me that night?
You do, actually. He is kind of further in the back as you see him kind of standing there. You see him trying to peek over people's shoulders, but he's having a hard time kind of getting in front, but he's there.
Let the boy through. Come on.
You see a few of the guards kind of turn around and make way as that orc begins walking through, and you see on his back is the javelin that you gave him.
I will go over to him very quickly. Before we begin, there is something that is long overdue. And I'll sort of look to the older orc and sort of hope he gets the idea that I'm about to blood this boy.
Yep, you see him, because I'm assuming you're just going to cut your hand like you normally do.
Yeah.
Yep, you see, as you start approaching and you start nicking your hand, you see him kind of very quickly grab a dagger, and he kind of cuts his hand a little bit, and he reaches his hand out.
Groomish sees you, brother.
And he sees you, brother, as he grabs your hand, and you guys do that kind of blood ritual that most orcs are known for, and he kind of pushes his head against yours, and let him watch over this glorious battle.
What is your name?
I'm Dian.
I name you Dian Zenok.
You see him kind of stand back, and you see him grab the glaive you gave him. He sticks it in the ground, and you see him put his arm across his chest, and that kind of orcish warrior bow that they do before to honor somebody. Thank you, Chief Silas.
I am clanless, brother. But now you are not. And I'll go into the ring.
All right. So you see Cedric kind of walk over and goes, "What is your weapon of choice?"
I pull out the glaive of Bugtrue.
You see him. May I see it?
I hand it over.
You see him kind of grab it for a little bit. You see him do a couple practice swings and a couple practice stabs with it as well. Beautiful weapon. I assume it was made from your tribe. You see him have it standing up on the ground as you see him holding out a hand to somebody else, but he's continuing to talk to you. As you see someone put like this kind of clay-like stuff in his hand, as he begins spreading it on the blade and goes, "No one's dying today, obviously."
Absolutely not. It'd be a waste of a good health potion to pick up an old orc like me.
You see him kind of quickly check his work as he's moving it over and goes, "Don't worry, it's easy to remove and it'll keep it sharp as we practice." And you see him kind of do the same to his great sword as he's putting it all along and goes, "Care to see?"
I'll take it and I'll sort of run my thumb very gently over the blade.
Yeah, you feel it, and it feels dull. It's probably gonna hurt if you get smacked with it, but it's obviously been dulled so that it's not gonna cut and slice anything open. But when you grab it, you notice one thing: it's incredibly heavy for how short the handle is. It's obviously supposed to be for a two-handed, but it's large. This thing is weirdly heavy, so you kind of get a sense on how strong that this guy actually fucking is.
Absolutely. This blade can't have been a stock, as it were.
That is a Nathan Stormbringer original.
Ah, the very same. And I will pull out the axe.
Ha ha ha! I've seen that axe before. I believe his sister has one the same. I remember him complaining at the bar many a time.
Well, they do see me and Tasha as twins on drunken nights.
I can see that, absolutely. But you've already chosen the glaive, and we are in this route. We're only going to be using one weapon. So if you wouldn't mind handing it over to Diane, I believe his name was.
Oh, absolutely. I'm saving this for the real doppelgangers.
Excellent. As you see him kind of taking off a quiver and what seems to be a couple dagger belts, as he hands it over to the other Ray, and goes, "Very well." You see him stretching. "Shall we?"
I'll pick up my glaive and sort of go to the edge of the ring. Nothing ventured, nothing gained.
All right. And I would like you to roll for initiative.
That's a 7.
7. Okay.
Yeah, Dex is like one of the few things that I'm shit at. No way.
Okay, so what would you like to do?
The sword's a bit heavy. It's slowed him down a little bit.
I guess so.
I'd like to rage.
Okay.
Do you want a con save?
No, not in this instance, I'm gonna say.
Okay, I'll take it. And yeah, I'm going to I'm gonna start. Yeah, no, I'm gonna go for the attack.
Okay.
I think.
Go ahead and roll for the attack.
Alrighty, that's a 17.
That unfortunately misses. As you kind of go in for that kind of quick jab at first, after you kind of stand there for a minute and you begin flexing your muscles and you start feeling that kind of swelling inside you. It's a kind of anger, but you're able to kind of hold it within under.
Mm-hmm.
It's more of an excitement kind of anger that this rage kind of seems to be. So you kind of go in for a very quick jab, but this dude is quick. All of a sudden, he just kind of dodges off to the side. Do you do anything else?
I do have a second attack.
Okay.
That was what is that? That's an 18.
Okay, 18. That just hits.
Alrighty, and I'm gonna try and use one of my charges to ignite the blade in flame.
Okay.
So I just need to check something really quick. Okay, cool. So it's gonna be 8, 11, 13 slashing.
Okay.
Plus 3 fire.
Okay.
Plus 3 radiant.
Okay. So, as you kind of go in for that second slash, kind of over to the side after he's able to dodge out of the way, you do see that you get him a kind of small slice on his side, but you notice that there's kind of this chainmail underneath, so you kind of grab that grip that's on the handle as it kind of bursts into this flame into the side. You do notice that a bit of the fabric begins to burn, but you see chainmail underneath his vestments. You also notice that he doesn't scream in pain as that the light begins to kind of flash through. It doesn't seem to do nearly as much damage as you might think it would have. But you see him go, excellent, excellent.
Alrighty, and that's all I can do.
Okay. Let me just make sure I'm doing something right.
Yep.
So he's going to go in for a attack and does a... What is that? 14?
Beats it.
All right, so you see him kind of quickly go for a slash on the side. And that's going to be... Where the fuck did it go? This one. Ooh. So go ahead and take... that's going to be 11 points of bludgeoning damage as he just kind of goes off to the side. And he's grabbing his this great sword with one hand as it just kind of bashes into your side. And even though the blade is, like, covered, it fucking pushes you a good 10 feet over to the left side as he quickly recovers and he goes in for another attack.
Very quickly, is that magical or not?
No.
Do you round up or down? Because I'm resistant.
Up.
Cool.
He's also going to make sure. Okay, so he's going to attack you once again and does a 19 hit.
Every day of the week, buddy.
Go ahead and make a strength saving throw.
Nice. 16.
So as he kind of goes up, you see him twist his blade really quickly and kind of move up the hill, and all of a sudden your glaive falls out of your hand over onto the ground. As you see him kind of go off to the side. Yep, and you're gonna see him kind of almost quicken really quickly as he goes in for yet another attack. Okay, so holy fuck. Go ahead and take 30 points of bludgeoning damage. As he disarms you all of a sudden, after he pushes you away 10 feet, you see him kind of quickly get into almost a sprinter's position as he just rockets towards you and kind of gets you right against the gut with this sword. And it almost doubles you over in pain as it winds you. He's going to attack you one more time. Oh my god! That is 28 points of bludgeoning damage.
Honestly, I could take that shit.
As he very quickly, as soon as he gets you against the gut, you see him kind of flip you over and kind of punch you into the ground. And you slide against, but you're able to kind of stay standing up as you're sliding a little bit further. You're maybe about 10, 15 feet away from him. And that's all he's going to do.
Cool. All right. Now let me quickly look at a thing. Because that is that. Yeah, that's fine, but can I do that? There's a combo I might be able to do, but I want to make sure. Ah, it's a bonus action to do that. Shit. In which case... I'm gonna go and just try and grab my glaive. I know that's going to be an action, but I'll go for it. So I'll grab that, and then I will use Adrenaline Rush as a bonus action to gain 3 temporary hit points.
Okay.
I'm not going to use it to dash, but I could if I wanted. But yeah, cool. Nice. And yeah, that's my turn.
Okay. You see him kind of loosening up once again as he's going to kind of come at you again with his great sword, and does a 11 hit?
No.
So you see him kind of quickly running towards you. Once again, he kind of flips his sword upside down and he goes for a quick slash, but you're able to kind of dodge out of the way. He's going to go for another attack. Does a 13?
Nope.
As he quickly comes back with a backstab to try and get you from behind him, but you're able to kind of dodge again over to the side. That is all he can do. Yes, that's all he can do.
Wait. Sweet. Okay. I'm gonna go for 2 more attacks.
Okay.
Because I can. That's a 10. That's not gonna do anything.
Yeah, you kind of once you kind of go up in front of him, you try and go for a quick stab off to the side, but he's able to kind of move just out of the way of it.
Just had a few seconds of nobody hitting anyone. It's fine. We're blade dancing. That, on the other hand, is a 25.
That absolutely hits.
All right, so I'm gonna ignite again because I can. Why the fuck not? So that is 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 slashing.
Okay.
Plus 3 fire. Plus 6 radiant.
Okay, so you kind of go in for that first jab off to the side when he's able to duck out of the way, but then you kind of twist it and grab that handprint again, and all of a sudden the fire bursts out from under your feet as you flip over him, and you go for a long slash, or a long kind of almost grabbing it like a bat and hitting him off to the side as he kind of stumbles forward, and you see that he's got a nice chunk kind of dented into the back of his armor as you see him stand up, and you hear that crack of one of his back kind of cracking. He goes, "Oh, very nice." That it?
And then, as I end my turn, I'm just going to spit a little bit of blood into the dirt, because why not?
Okay. So you see him. He's going to go after you again, and does that is an unnatural 20.
That'll do it.
And that is 11 slashing damage.
All right.
There's something else I wanted to do. Okay, he's going to attack you one more time, and that is a 14.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay, and that is only 7 bludgeoning damage. He's kind of picking himself back up, and you see him just very quickly kind of as he slams down that great sword one more time, and he gets you just on the side and pushes you over, and you see him very quickly slash off over to the other side, hits you on the right side, right underneath your ribs, and you feel that kind of pop as he pushes you off over to the side.
All right.
That's all you can do.
Cool. Second verse, same as the first.
Okay.
That's a 15.
So that misses.
Yeah, I was gonna say it didn't hit the first time. And that fuck, that's 24.
That's a hit. That's an absolute hit.
All right, and last charge of the glaive for fire.
Okay.
So that is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 slashing, 3 fire, and 4 radiant.
So you kind of go in again off to the side for a downward slash, but he's able to kind of jump back just quick enough, but not quick enough to be able to dodge that second attack as you go for one nice lunge, grabbing that hand once more, and you're seeing that kind of fire from underneath you, push you forward to kind of get a little bit more force behind it. As you see him kind of being pushed back just a little bit, he tries to block it with a sword, but you manage to get him right underneath the ribs. And you see him just kind of spits on the ground. You see a little bit of blood hitting and goes, all right, let's go. And that is a 12.
Doesn't hit.
And, ooh, fuck, that is a natural 20.
I could take it if the rolls are good.
Attack rolls against the creature made with against it. Okay. So that is 22 points of bludgeoning damage.
Easy.
And he's also going to push you 10 feet away with it.
Okay. I've still got my glaives, alright?
Yep, you still got your glaive.
Cool.
Uh,
Anything else?
Nope, that's all you can do.
Alright, adrenaline rush to get 3 temporary hit points back. Should have
Okay.
done that last turn, but it's fine. And then more glaive.
Okay.
I've got no more fire, but I've still got a fuck ton of radiant.
So as you begin coming close enough to him, he's actually going to use his reaction to brace, which he's going to try and attack you with it, and that is going to be a 15.
That'll hit.
Okay, so that is this 8 plus this. That's 23 points of bludgeoning damage.
Let me... Still alive.
All right, so as you begin rushing towards him with the glaive, you see him very quickly, just kind of out of nowhere, bam! Almost hit you like it with a bat as he begins pushing you to the side, but you're able to kind of catch your feet once more and continue going towards him. Go ahead with your attacks.
Yep. Alright, first one coming up
Okay.
is a 25.
That hits.
Alright, so that will be 9 slashing and 8 radiant.
Okay.
And the second attack is going to be a 17.
That misses, unfortunately.
Fuck!
Oh.
Alright, that's all I can do.
So after you catch your feet and you start charging towards him, you kind of go for a slash and you get him right on the leg as he drops down, but he sees you coming back up for another kind of jab as he dodges out of the way. He's going to try and attack you with that greatsword once more.
Okay.
13. I know that doesn't hit.
Doesn't hit. Yep.
Fuck, it's another 13, and that doesn't hit. So you see him dodge up out of the way quickly, and he kind of goes for an upward slash, but you're able to jump back. But with that slash, he was able to stand back up on his own 2 feet, and he goes for another kind of... He brings it down and goes for a jab himself with that greatsword, but you're able to kind of drift off to the left side of it and just out of the way. And that's all you can do.
Alright. Cool. 2 more. Wait, hold up. Let me... Actually, doesn't really matter. Alright, the first one... 21.
Hits.
That'll be 9 slashing and 7 radiant.
Okay.
And the second one is a natural 20.
Woo! Going double everything.
Alright, cool. I don't get my radiant. I don't get my radiant damage on this shit. Does that double the rage damage as well?
Yes.
Cool. Alright, so that is 8, 9, 10, 11. Plus 6 is 17. Plus 4 is 21.
How do you want to do this?
Oh, bro, I'm on 1 HP in a dream, baby. I messaged right like I'm on 1.
I'm going to tell you this right now. That nat 20 is what saved you, because you want to know something funny? I'll tell you after. How do you want to do this?
Oh, cool. So I am basically going to, after he's sort of done that massive sort of slashing down at me,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to put my glaive on top of his blade, twist it, then run it up the blade to sort of, sparks flying, all that shit, and run it from, like, the lower rib right up to his shoulder. And then with the second attack, it's literally me flipping the glaive, and with the butt of the glaive, and the handle just sort of going directly for the side of the head to knock him on the ground. Not enough to like fully knock him out.
This is what happens. As soon as he goes for that large kind of slash and it goes into the ground, you dig your glaive underneath it and you begin sliding it up and you kind of launch him almost into the air with the power of your glaive, because it's not really slashing just because of he dulled the blade, but then you kind of flip it around and you bash him back into the ground. As he lands, he kind of lays down for a minute and you see him kind of, oh fuck, and you see him spit some more blood on the ground. Oh god. All right. I think I know when I've been bested. And you see him stand up, and he looks over at the general and goes, yeah, you can learn a thing or two from this guy. As you see him kind of pop, 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 as he's stretching his arms. And you see him like he's got bruises all over, but he just doesn't look uncomfortable. But you do see him that he's stopped. This dude's a fucking beast. And he just kind of grabs his sword and he walks over to you and goes, that was a good fight.
I shake his hand. It could have gone either way.
Oh, man, that... I will say, I can tell that the doppelgangers have something to fear with you using those kinds of powers, but, you want to know a trick?
What's that?
You see the symbol? And he points to the symbol of Palor.
Mm-hmm.
Your radiant abilities don't do anything to us.
Well, it's more so teaching everybody here that if you have radiant, you might as well use it.
That is going to be something that you should be showing all these people. Oh, God. Now, if you don't mind, I'm going to go get some of these cuts patched up, as we broke some of my chain link. Very impressive. And, let's go get a drink tonight, yeah?
Water wheel. I'll see you at sundown.
I'll be there. And you see him start walking away, and he looks at the general. You just kind of see him do a nod and starts walking away as you see him rubbing his shoulders and shit. And the fucking orcs and a bunch of the people in the crowd, as soon as he walks away, just erupt and yeah! Again!
Like full on, bleeding, sweating, on death's door is just gonna look to everyone. Who's next?
You just hear like, yeah, woo! And Diane kind of walks over and goes, that was incredible. I didn't know who to root for. That you guys were giving it your all.
Orcs are more than just muscle. It takes confidence.
That was amazing. You need to teach me how to do something like that.
And there's a dummy right over there. And I'll be kind of using my glaive as a bit of a, like, limping stick. But I will go and start training whoever wants to learn a thing or two about using sort of larger weapons.
All right. Well, that's all happening. Aimi, what have you been doing?
Oh, well, hi. I've been enjoying the battle. No, I'm kidding.
It could be.
Honestly, she's probably trying to talk to Draxto and see where he thinks Nico would have ran off to.
Okay, so as you're kind of telepathically talking to him and Draxto is flying above, you hear him just saying, well, I don't think he'd be in the city. He seemed to have left the opposite way.
Fair. Shall we search from the skies then?
I'll go take a look. Just don't call me back for a while.
She's gonna offer the scythe to him if he needs it.
You see him kind of fly down for a minute. He'll look up at you and he goes, you sure you want to do that?
He would be the one I'm most worried about being alone. At least they're in the city.
I'll find him. As he kind of grabs the scythe with his mouth and turns back into that kind of dragonborn form. And you see him for a second think about going back into the elf form, but then he just kind of goes back into his dragon form and flies off with the scythe in his mouth.
Now, Karma, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Technically, Alter Self says I can do it for, like, adaptation purposes?
How do you mean?
And that I could Well, change appearance lets me become a creature of a different size than me with the same basic shape and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Could I become a thing like a wyvern and have my arms be wings instead of arms?
You'll have to let me look into something like that.
It says as I say, it says I can't be quadruped if I'm bipedal. But it doesn't say anything about using it to be able to fly.
I will say you could probably be an Aarakocra, but I don't know if you can really be a wyvern. But an Aarakocra, can fly, and they have wings for arms instead, so you could probably be one of them.
Let's see. Would that work in this case?
Yeah, so that will work in this case, yes, where you can change into an Aarakocra.
Okay, and then I will do the fly myself to do this.
Okay.
I just wanted something with the ability to fly naturally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, that's happening. Kazim, what you doing? I'm assuming you're looking over your books.
Yeah. Just trying to see what I can glean out of them.
Go ahead and roll for investigation.
That's not bad, actually. Okay. What do I have? 1 dirty 20.
Okay. So as you're kind of glancing over the books for kind of skimming through it, you see these stories of how around 800 years ago there was this kind of warlock that was known. His name wasn't known, but he was known to kind of be searching for the secret to immortality, where he came across some kind of magical relic or scroll, as it's described, to which he used it, and he was tricked by another into essentially turning himself into a lich. And his soul was separated from his body as his body began going on a incredibly crazy rampage, destroying pretty much anything that was around. You see that the story is talking about how he melted the polar caps in the northwestern part of Ethyl, and how he tried to burn down most of Peak Barrow. He essentially just went around the town, around the continent, trying to destroy things. There is a short story where he almost he's actually the reason that the capital is floating now, because he tried to essentially destroy the entire thing by having it being swallowed into the earth. So a backup plan was made to cause the city to float, so that couldn't happen. Other than that, not many people know exactly where he came from. There are theories that perhaps he was originally a wizard of Elderfall at some point, as just because his origins are so mythical and his powers are so incredibly beyond most people can think of, they assume that he would be from a mythical place like Elderfall. But there's not really any kind of indication to tell you who he is, where he is, or again, his origins are just kind of a mystery.
So Vecna was a warlock who got tricked into being a lich?
Essentially, yes. And essentially, it states that they don't know what the warlock's name was, just that his body that became a lich. Because essentially, being a lich in this is where your body gets separated from your soul, and your body has this, because your soul's no longer in it, is just filled with this amazing magical aura, making it 10 times more powerful than you ever could be magically. And they generally tend to go pretty crazy because of just the sheer amount of power. So his body as a lich was named Vecna. They don't know what the actual wizard's name was, because in the ancient speak of the people, the elves that founded him, or the Aasimar that discovered and fought him off, named him Vecna, because in their language Vecna means vengeance, because they thought he was coming back for some kind of vengeance.
Okay, a warlock, not a wizard, became a lich against his will, went mad, and started trying to murder everyone.
Pretty much.
Awesome. Cool. No doubt. So that raises a lot of red flags, honestly. But he's out of my hair, so it's not my problem. I'm going to try to speak with some contractors to get the warehouse
Okay.
remodeled.
So after some initial measurings and stuff of the warehouse that you're showing off to Jonathan and to a couple of his workers that he's showing, there's like a couple goblins and Jonathan's a kobold, and then like 2 humans to help kind of work as they're measuring, kind of looking around, checking the kind of like the framework of everything. How do you think this is going to look at the end? What are you wanting?
Nice, clean stone floor.
Okay.
Tables, chairs, a walled off section of the room to be made into a kitchen.
Okay.
The basement access, I want immediately above that to be a closet for like food storage. And then to the right of that, kitchen space.
Okay.
I'm gonna have them remodel the basement as well.
Okay.
And I'll pay extra for their discretion.
Okay.
I think we'll keep the loft. I just want it to be refixed up so it's not as dangerous.
Okay.
Basically, makeover and then 2 new rooms.
Makeover and 2 new rooms. Got it. So, with them putting up the walls and putting up the furnishings and repaving pretty much the entire floor to make it all one thing, and then rebuilding essentially that loft to make sure that it's actually safe, you're looking at about 800 gold.
Ooh, 800 gold.
Okay.
In platinum.
In platinum, so 80 platinum.
Yep.
Okay. So while that's kind of going on, because that's going to take a few months, and I'm assuming that you're going to be supervising over it most of the time.
A few months.
Yep. It's going to, not a few months, like maybe a month at most, just because they have to let all that stone and stuff they have to bring in and shit. Takes a while, but I'm assuming you'll be watching over that. And it probably won't take your entire time in town. It's going to take up a good chunk of it, though, if you're going to be supervising over most of it.
I'm going to do my best to supervise over most of it.
Okay, so it's going to take up a lot of your time, but you'll probably have like maybe a week and a half at the end of the month to be able to do extra stuff.
Okay.
Just to give you, just kind of, you're putting breaks in between your supervising. I'm saying you're going to get like a week to do week and a half to do other stuff. But that's what you're going to be spending your time doing. I'm going to ask Silas, you're going to be spending a lot of time at the garrison teaching them and stuff?
Yeah, I'm going to be at the garrison, and then like if I have off time with all that, I'm basically going to be guarding different members of the council.
Okay, so you'll be doing a lot of the guarding. Are you when do you want to speak to your gods?
I probably would give it a couple days.
Okay.
So
we'll say that for the next couple days you're going to be spending at helping guard the flow, learning the kind of routes of the guards that you're helping train as well, perhaps getting more more familiar with their kind of security and stuff as you are helping them train. I'm going to say that Draxto and Aimi, you guys are going to be flying around for a little while. Will you go ahead and roll for perception for me, Aimi?
Aye, Captain. It's going to be kind of loud, but I will try. You said perception?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it would help if I remember that I'm having to use a phone and not laptop. That would be 16 plus 6, so 22?
Okay.
12? Yeah.
So
Right?
after
know.
after
go
quite
with it.
some time of flying over the kind of forest where you think Nico went, it takes you quite a while. There's a lot of forest, a lot. You managed to find what looks to be a burnt down camp of some kind, but you don't see any kind of. You see where like there looks to be some kind of like graves or something with the swords and stuff sitting out. You don't really see any sign of Nico anywhere around there. But then you hear in your head, I think I found something.
Oh, really?
Come to me. As it's kind of, you can, as he's talking, you can kind of sense where he's at, which feels a good couple miles to your east.
Then away we fly.
So after a good couple minutes, maybe about 15, 20 minutes of flying, you manage to see Draxto standing at what looks to be this kind of weird scorch mark in the ground. It seems like a perfect circle, and you can see where like some plants and stuff have fallen. Roll Arcana for me.
I'm good at that one. That's brain hard math. Technically a dirty 20.
Okay, so you could probably guess that this looks like the aftermath of a thunder step. It looks like someone probably thunder stepped here at some point. You're not too sure why, but you do manage to see what looks to be this kind of shard, this small bluish purple shard that seems to be radiating this small amount of blue smoke in the middle of it.
Gonna pick it up.
As soon as you do, it kind of like shocks you a little bit. Can't pick it up.
It looks familiar, right?
Roll for perception.
13.
Yep. Yeah. It looks like a shard of Nico's necklace.
She's probably going to ask Draxto if he knows how to pick it up.
Grab a cloth.
Do you think I should change it out for my gem?
No.
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 Okay,
Absolutely. Cool. Do not. No.
She's gonna pick out a small piece of cloth from her bag and pick it up.
So as you're kind of grabbing it with the cloth and you're kind of wrapping it up, you just hear you hear what sounds to be like this. It's incoherent. You're just hearing these kind of words, like some thoughts are kind of coming towards you, and you're just hearing the words like Nico, and then you're hearing like gone, and that's all you could really make out because it just sounds like it's on the wind and it's barely there.
Do you hear that?
No. Do you smell that?
I don't know. Do I smell that,
Roll
Karma?
for perception.
Don't ask me if I smell stuff. Jesus. That is a 13.
Nope, you don't smell it. He goes, it smells like... I can't describe it.
Good, bad?
It's a smell I haven't smelled in a very long time.
Well, then lead me to it.
And you see him kind of like going around the forest for a while. And you see him kind of like sniffing into the air. It takes off for moments, but then you see him kind of stop just like at the base of this mountain. And he goes, I've lost it.
At the base of this mountain.
Just at the base of a giant mountain.
I feel like we have to tell the others. But the hard part is guessing if they'll care.
Maybe. He could have left.
He wouldn't have left a shard of his own necklace behind. I get the feeling that this was more important to him than a lot of things.
black smoke comes out of his nose, obviously annoyed.
Yeah. I understand you're annoyed with this task. It is tedious to you. But something's not right here. Can you write with your talons?
No, but I can write with my tail.
Because I know the Aarakocra knows Draconic, and you can't talk to them. And he will not see me, but he will see you. Find Silas, and we will tell them.
All right, I'll try.
Then let us do so quickly.
All right.
She's gonna kind of like leave something to mark that area.
And as you guys are flying back over the forest back towards River's Run, I'm gonna say that that's where we're gonna end it for this week. That was a weird, intense game. It got dark.
Yes.
It got deep. It was interesting. There was laughs. There was cries. There was fights. Lots of fights. That broke up pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And Dragon, I'm gonna message you something as well.
Also, Karma, can I have it marked down that what she does to mark that part of the mountain is acid?
Okay.
That way, it's harder to get rid of. Probably the actual mountain and then a couple trees, randomly.
Or was like a impromptu forest fire.
No, like she has primal savagery. She can do like little acid shit. It's fine. She also has acid splash and
But all
poison
right,
spray
folks.
and
That was a lot of fun. I want to thank you guys for coming to play with me. I want to thank you guys for coming to watch us. I'm sorry that we had so many weird, crazy technical difficulties, but thanks for sticking with us, and I hope you guys join us for the next sessions. Who wants to do it this week?
I got it.
All right, Josh, go for it.
Make sure you check us out on TikTok, Discord, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, OnlyFans. You know, the works.
Oh,
and we'll see you all in the next one.
Yep.
Bye.
What is a ray of light without the shadow it creates? What is the darkness without desire for flame? What is a warrior without a worthy foe? What would you like to do? It's time to roll. When the lines between good and evil are blurred, no one knows if there is Dune or Paler came first. An ancient struggle throughout all time to push against the other keeps both upright. Is the coming chaos worth the peace? Is it all just a puzzle to complete? A one-sided coin can't exist, isn't real, and thus goes the tales of Ethyl. Thus goes the tales of Ethyl.